October 26, 2024, Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division FNID is reporting that significant progress has been made in clamping down on the smuggling of guns into Jamaica. Curfew imposed in several Manchester communities following shooting on Thursday night. Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Apia, Samoa will present an opportunity for discussions on reparations for the transatlantic slave trade, says Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith. In news from the region, Trinidad and Tobago national extradited to the US on sex crime offenses, while on the international scene, Muslim leaders back Trump in Michigan as Biden calls him a loser. While in sports, Evan Lewis scored an unbeaten century to guide the West Indies to an 8-wicket win via the Duckworth-Lewis method over Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international. The details after this.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
The police are reporting that they have made significant strides in putting a dent in the smuggling of firearms in Jamaica through operations carried out by the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division FNID. According to the entity, on diverse dates between July 1, 2024 and October 12, 2024, several joint operations were carried out in collaboration with the Jamaica Customs Agency JCA. The operations resulted in the arrest of 17 individuals for breaches of the Firearms Prohibition Restriction and Regulation Act, the seizure of 2 rifles and 20 pistols, the seizure of 1,274 assorted rounds of ammunition. FNID also revealed that 8 of the 17 persons arrested were charged and the matters placed before the court for offences ranging from trafficking in prohibited weapon to possession of a prohibited weapon. The Firearm and Narcotics Investigation Division said the recent seizures and arrests demonstrate the resolve of the organization to remain focused and resolute in its approach to detecting, deterring, disrupting, and ultimately dismantling criminal networks involved in smuggling firearms into Jamaica, and it will ensure that all persons who conspire to smuggle illegal firearms and ammunition into the country are appropriately punished. A curfew has been imposed in several Manchester communities, including Inverness district in Knockpatrick, where a man was shot and killed and his girlfriend wounded in an attempted robbery at the woman's bar on Thursday night. Police say in addition to Inverness, Greenvale and communities in the L-Belt from Albion to Poros, including Newhall, Comfort, Broadleaf, Mayday, are under curfew. The nightly curfew started at 6 p.m. on Friday and is to end at 6 a.m. on Monday. Meanwhile, as the police seek to clamp down on criminal activities in the area, Counsel for the Knockpatrick Division in Manchester, Carl Smith, says despite police patrols in the community of Inverness, criminals continue to wreak havoc in the area. He was reacting to the killing of 30-year-old Roisin Wiltshire. Wiltshire was gunned down at a bar in the area Thursday night. His girlfriend was also wounded in the attack. It's believed robbery was the motive.
This latest incident has heightened concern among residents who remain anxious about escalating crime and violence in their community. The presence of regular police patrol was intended to deter criminal activity and reassure residents of their safety. However, this recent murder highlights the continued threat and the need for additional strategies to combat violence effectively. I express heartfelt condolence to the family of the young man who lost his life and wish for a speedy recovery for the young lady who is in the hospital.
Counsel Smith believes criminals are studying the police patrol patterns in Inverness.
Based on information, there has been a heighten in regular break-ins in that area. And I personally made a call to the Newport Police and they reassure me that they do regular patrol. My investigations also tells me that 10 minutes before the incident, the police was in the area. So we are dealing with that new set of criminals who, one, they're on the lookout for the police and it's like they're studying the patterns of the police. You know, a patrol go on 1 minute now, so they're not going to come back for now.
Carl Smith, Counsel for the Knockpatrick Division in Manchester. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith is leading Jamaica's delegation to the 27th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Apia, Samoa. Minister Johnson-Smith says the Commonwealth represents a landmark as the first to be held in a Pacific small island developing state.
This CHOGM represents a landmark as the first to ever be held in a Pacific small island developing state. And yes, 66% of the Commonwealth is made up of SIDS, small island developing states. Jamaica is a strong advocate for SIDS and for highly indebted middle-income countries, and we will therefore spend some time on matters including financing for development, climate change and climate finance, ocean governance, and of course technology, particularly in the field of AI. We're looking at resilient societies, resilient economies, and of course resilient environments.
Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. She says the conference will present the opportunity for discussions on reparations for the transatlantic slave trade. Commonwealth heads of government are expected to talk on the matter of the UK owing billions of pounds in reparations. This despite the UK saying it has no plans to pay the more than £18 trillion owed. Discussions will also be held on building the resilience and empowerment of young people, addressing the aging populations, and focusing more on elder care. To news on from the region, Trinidad and Tobago national has been extradited to the United States to face charges for 128 counts of sex crime offences against children. On Wednesday, Farzan Mohammed was extradited and will face a possible sentence of over 40 years in prison. He was charged for the crimes in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in June 2023. A warrant of arrest was issued for Mohammed in Pennsylvania in 2023 for crimes committed against children including rape, sexual assault, and child pornography. Mohammed fled the United States to Trinidad and Tobago in June 2023 after being charged. U.S. law enforcement authorities requested a provisional arrest warrant for Mohammed, who was arrested in South Trinidad on April 9, 2024. The Trinidad and Tobago Court of Appeal dismissed Mohammed's challenge to his extradition in September 2024, and he was committed into custody pending his extradition. On October 4, Reginald Armour, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs of Trinidad and Tobago, signed a warrant of removal for Mohammed. To news on the international scene, Muslim community leaders in Michigan have endorsed Donald Trump on stage at a rally as the former president calls on Americans to dream big 10 days out from the election. U.S. President Joe Biden calls Trump a loser during an appeal to undecided voters to please give us a chance. Former First Lady Michelle Obama will soon join Kamala Harris at a campaign event as the battle for the swing state of Michigan heats up. And now to sports. Evan Lewis scored an unbeaten century to guide the West Indies to an 8-wicket win via the Duckworth-Lewis method over Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international at the Palakkala International Cricket Stadium today. Batting first, the Sri Lankan team, they made 156 for 3 off 23 overs due to a rain interruption, with the hosts on 81 for 1 at 17.2 overs. Pantham Nasakani made 56, Avishka Fernando 34 and Kusal Mindis 56 not out. In reply, the Windies, they faced a revised target of 195 in 23 overs. Lewis scored 102 not out of 61 balls, which included 9 fours and 4 sixes, and Sherfin Rutherford made an unbeaten 50. Final scores 156 for 3, West Indies 196 for 2, Sri Lanka won the series 2-1. Montego Bay United on 13 points, the same as Waterhouse, will seek to take sole leadership of the rare nephew of Jamaica Premier League when they face Portmore United at Catherine Hall Sports Complex tomorrow. Meanwhile, Malines United, they will take on Humberland in the first match of a doubleheader at Draxhall Complex. In the second match, Mount Pleasant play Tivoli Gardens at Dumble Holden Complex. Harbourview lock horns with Dumble Holden. In Monday's games, Chapelton Maroons will face Waterhouse, and Racing United will take on their United. And now for a recap of the top stories making the news at this hour. The Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division FNID is reporting that it has made significant progress in clamping down on the smuggling of guns into Jamaica. Curfew imposed in several Manchester communities following a shooting on Thursday night. Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Apia, Samoa will present an opportunity for discussions on reparations for the transatlantic slave trade, says Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith. Remember, you can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 9 tomorrow morning, but stay tuned. Up next, it's Sports Nation Live with Wayne Walker and Alric Swaby.
Outperform, outlast. Guilty. With top performance. Guilty. Jackama. Reliable. Full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fan select tools, free parts and free repairs. Free parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
You can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We are having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really clip you starting?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour. Fired.
Also, tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Click News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Okay, good afternoon. It's Saturday, October 26, 2024. Now, if you bowl it, we'll hit it for 6. If you pass it, we'll score it. Give us a pool, we'll dive in. And as fast as the starter's gun fires, we're at that finish line. I'm Alex Weber. This is Sports Nation Live on Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradioJM.com, and Flow Channel 916. You can also tune in to our program live on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM, and remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we open the lines at around about 7:30 to take your calls. The numbers to call are 876-630-9371, 876-630-9372, 876-630-9373, and 876-63974. And a special good afternoon to Edith Dalton James class of 95 who are locked in while they celebrate their reunion at White River Reggae Park. We wish you all the best, even though it's a rainy reunion. Now coming up, we have another packed and exciting show lineup for you. We'll be talking some football, some mixed martial arts, NFL, and much more. But first, an athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24.
1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Did you notice when reading this verse that it doesn't say you must win or you will win? It is actually telling us that the kind of effort and dedication victory requires. Competing with integrity is the key here. Anyone can cheat and win, but what does that do us morally? It's not about winning at all costs or abandoning your values to do anything it takes to win. This is telling us we need to perform at our absolute best and have the self-discipline to compete in a focused, well-practiced, and strategic manner. If we do that, we will perform in such a way that will be nearly impossible to beat. Will we get beat sometimes? Absolutely. However, in performing with honor, we can feel victorious even in a loss.
Okay, so that was our athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Now, in our feature, You Just Had to Be There, we relive the Viceroy with Winston Griffith aboard, winning the Toyota Cup in 1988.
And sent off. Looks to have been a fairly even break. Restless Wind missed it along with Wind Roll. Lady Gita is in the middle, and she shows just a fractional leader from We Are the World coming through now to challenge for that lead, but it is still on the lead. Lady Gita showing by a length. Diamond Lady rushes through now to take her on. Just a half a length separates these two. Diamond Lady on the inner, on the outside going down, and very smooth at this stage. That's Nick the Traveller. We're the World in between horses. Peace Treaty right there against the rail. On the outside, that's Strike Force. The Viceroy in between horses. Prince Mike is going down nicely. And then comes a Rough Encounter and Union Jack. Gung Ho on the outside. Restless Wind on the inner. Behind them, Camp Follower, Heartbeat, then Bold Classic. And the trick is Wind Roll. They're coming up to the half-mile pole. They've gone by that now, and it is Lady Gita showing a lot of fight there. She holds on to that lead. A length in front of Diamond Lady now being ridden. On the outside, cruising dangerously down into third. That's Nick the Traveller. Prince Mike now breathes down the neck. On the outside, Strike Force is travelling well. The Viceroy now is put forward there by Winston Griffiths. Behind them, we find Union Jack. Towards the outside, that's Gung Ho going down. Peace Treaty on the rail with a lot to do, but they're straightened for the drive. And Lady Gita is put wide towards the middle of the course. In between them coming forward, that's Nick the Traveller. Prince Mike is travelling real well over against the inner. A furlong and a half to go in the day's feature, the Toyota Cup, and Nick the Traveller has the lead from Prince Mike. The Viceroy has a lot to do. They come towards the furlong marker. It's Nick the Traveller holding on from the Viceroy, now coming forward on the outside with a determined challenge. A 16th to go, and it's the Viceroy under the right-hand stick that storms forward. It's the Viceroy. He'll take it for Winston Griffiths and Philip Fiani and the rest of the connections. Second place has gone to Nick the Traveller. He's certainly running a game race. Prince Mike maybe third over Lady Gita, also running a cracker there on the outside.
Okay, so that was our feature, You Just Had to Be There, where we relived the Viceroy with Winston Griffith aboard, winning the Toyota Cup in 1988. With that, we'll take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Tune in to our program live from our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we're also on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Wayne Walker is not able to join us this afternoon, well today, as he has some things that he has to take care of. But we will be going solo this afternoon, going into this evening. But like I said, we'll be talking some mixed martial arts now, as the Boom Energy Drink Rough Fight League, RFL, Ocho, is set to begin at Funland in Hope Gardens this afternoon at 7. It promises an action-packed night of mixed martial arts and kickboxing. The event will feature 8 thrilling bouts, including 2 high-profile main events that fans won't want to miss. Now joining us, we have online the event organizer, Kyle Chin. Good afternoon, Kyle, and welcome to the show.
Hey, afternoon, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting our invitation. I know it's close to fight time, and you would have now been dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's to ensure that this is a successful venture. So we thank you for taking the time out to join us.
Yeah, man, no problem.
As we say that, tell us how preparation have been going so far.
Yeah, preparation is good. We are now, of course, there's a little drizzle going on, and we've been looking at the rain turn on and off, but we're full steam ahead, and we're set, and we're ready to go. We're just waiting for the bar to start, cooling the drinks and the songs to start going. But the fighters are here. We're doing our fighter meetings as we speak. They're warming up, and it's going to be an exciting night.
Right, and tell me, like you said, you're watching the rain. Will that be a challenge?
Yes, definitely would be a little of a challenge. But we are warriors, and we're here to fight straight through the rain, no matter what's going on.
Right. Tell us a bit more about this 8-fight card. That's up. It said that it's going to be a thrilling 8 bouts of contest. Tell us a bit more as to what patrons can expect.
We have an amateur championship fight in the welterweight division, which is Jaheim Morrison versus Teron Rose Green, and that's an exciting fight because both fighters are dynamic and well traveled and well seasoned. We also have the first ever IMMAF, that's International MMA Federation, gold medalist, the first Jamaican gold medalist, as our heavyweight 22-year-old Tyrese Tank Thompson is going to be fighting in the heavyweight division tonight, and we're going to see our main event with the King of the Caribbean, Shaheen Blake, is making his pro debut as he now moves from being ranked number 1 in the Caribbean in 3 different weight classes to now stepping into the professional realm, and we're going to see what he's going to do here against Darren the Avatar Weir. So it's going to be an exciting night. We really are in a treat when we see that our Jamaican athletes who are leading the Caribbean and leading the region, not only the Caribbean, because at the Pan Am Games, like I said, we have the gold medal, and Shine is no stranger to ruling on high, you know what I mean? So we're going to see great competition, we're going to see top-notch fighters, and it's going to be something you can't afford to miss.
Right. Persons are used to karate, they're used to taekwondo, they're used to boxing. Tell us a bit more about mixed martial arts and kickboxing. What's the difference between the two?
Yeah, so a lot of people, especially in Jamaica, people always refer to it as kickboxing. But essentially, what we do is we can punch, we can kick, we can elbow, we can knee, and we also can take it to the ground, control you on the ground, look for a submission in a choke or a joint lock, and we don't stop until the ref says stop. So the whole thing is we're coming close as we can possibly be to a real uninhibited competition. So whereas karate and boxing have a lot of rules regarding, in boxing you definitely can't kick, you can't, elbow anybody, you can't hold on to anybody in a clinch for too long. What we've done is we've taken away some of those limitations, and we said to the fighters, express yourselves and get closer to what is true combat. So outside of the the usual, no strike to the back of the head, no groin shots. What we're doing is we're allowing for what, and they call Bruce Lee the advent of mixed martial arts, because that's what he was talking about when he said be like water. So that's what this is. This is just getting closer to the idea of being like water and just using up all of the different arts to put them in a combination and find what is best.
Right, like you said earlier at the top of the show, the boxers are there, they're ready. Tell me, what's the mood like amongst the fighters, knowing that they're fighting here in Jamaica?
Well, I tell you something, they look very relaxed to me. They all seem very, very relaxed. I mean, most of these guys have fought before. We have some fresh fighters. We have one young guy, our youngest on the card, is 17 years old, and he's going to be making his MMA debut. But even him look relaxed. You know what I mean? So these fighters are here. We have a nice big space at Funland, so they're outside, they're breathing in the air, and they're not seeming too worried yet.
Right, and like I said, it's at Hope Gardens, a very picturesque place to have a fight like that. But this fight has been promoted for several weeks now. What has been the feedback in terms of persons who have expressed intention to be at this fight card?
The feedback is great, man. People are calling me up to like an hour ago asking me where they could meet me to get tickets. I'm like, hey, man, I'm at the venue. We're busy. But yeah, the feedback is good. Feedback is good. People are excited about seeing the fights, and we're excited to put them on.
Right. And tickets are still available?
No, tickets are done now. You got to come get it at the gate.
Okay, you still can get tickets at the gate. That's what I want.
Yeah, man. So admission at the gate is 5,000 for general, 12,000 for food inclusive VIP.
Share with us what patrons will get when they purchase general or VIP tickets. What's there for the patrons?
Our VIP is going to be, it's a Boom sponsored VIP. So Boom has decked out a stage. We have big trussing and lights, and we have lots of giveaways inside of our VIP. Of course, we have catering by Jabbas. We have Mark Chung is also doing some sampling in the VIP. So there's a lot of things going on.
Right. And
of course we still have food and drinks on sale throughout the venue.
Right. Is there any way for persons who can't make it to the venue to see it online?
We are at RFL MMA JA on Instagram. We will be streaming some snippets throughout the night, so you can stay tuned. But we're not going to show you everything.
Right. But you mentioned some of the fighters that will be on the card. One of your headliners, Shaheen the Great Blake, a dominant figure in Caribbean MMA. He'll be making his professional debut against Darren Avatar Weir. Blake, who has held the number one spot across 3 weight classes in the Caribbean, he'll be tested by Weir, an accomplished boxer, now stepping into the professional MMA. Tell me, Weir is a boxer, professional boxer, but he has come over to the MMA ring. Blake is making his professional debut. How would you describe such a matchup? An amateur going pro and a boxer coming into MMA?
Well, I'll tell you something. I mean, I've always said, if you are a boxer going up against a mixed martial artist, I don't see you standing much of a chance. There are many in the boxing community who think that there is somewhat of a chance, and they would give that lead to that person. But I mean, I'm a mixed martial artist. I see what happens when mixed martial artists go up against boxers, and let's just say, I don't know. But there is a component of experience, and experience goes a far way. Darren Weir did weigh in heavier than Blake. He's a bigger guy naturally. And so we do have elements that kind of even it out, so to speak. Right. But everybody wants to see what will happen. And I'll tell you something, it's not an easy feat to even find an opponent for Shaheen. So I give Darren all the kudos for stepping up to the challenge.
Why was it so challenging?
Because everybody afraid of him. At home and abroad, we've looked all over. And first of all, what you have to do is you have to look within a certain record span. So you don't want somebody with 10-0 going against somebody with 0-0. So we have to find someone within the 3-0, 3-2, 1-3 kind of record to go against somebody who is coming in with a 0-0 record. Right? So this now is the two fighters are coming in with 0-0 on their record as professionals.
Another big fight on the card will be Theron the Iron Prince Rose Green taking on Jaheim Imur Mokanen Morrison in an amateur welterweight championship fight. Rose is an emerging MMA star. He has already secured wins in Trinidad and Jamaica. While he'll face Morrison, a skilled kickboxer, building a strong reputation in the sport. This you would describe as a classic wrestler versus striker matchup?
You know, funny enough, that's how I was thinking about it at first. But then when you watch Theron fight, he loves to kickbox. He just has this amazing, deep tool set that he can always go back to. And this is the last thing I said before I have to run away because I have to put out some fires. But Theron is really very talented. But he's come up against someone now who has range. He's taller than him, has about 3 inches taller than him, has dynamic kickboxing styles, and that's what makes an interesting fight. You have a shorter guy who is good at grappling and good at kickboxing, and you have a taller guy who has that range and knows how to use it. So it makes for a very interesting dynamic, and that's why it's a title fight, because both of them have proved themselves to be very skillful, and they've racked up wins. So now we want to see who's the real sway.
Right. Okay,
so
then.
My brother, I appreciate you so much, and I hope everybody can make it down. But I got to put out some fires.
No problem. Thanks much for stopping by and talking with us.
I appreciate you, brother. Take care.
Okay, you too. Kyle Chin, the organizer of the Boom Energy Drink Rough Fight League, RFL OCHA, taking place at Funland in Hope Gardens, starting this evening at 7. With that, we take a break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We are having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Cliff you starting?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour. Fired.
Also, tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Click News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Station Live. I'm Alric Swaby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We're talking some cricket now as Evan Lewis scored an unbeaten century to guide the West Indies to an 8-wicket win via the Duckworth-Lewis method over Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international at the Palakeli International Cricket Stadium today. Batting first, the Sri Lanka Cans made 146 for 3 off their 23 overs due to a rain interruption, with the host on 81 for 1 after 17.2 overs. Pathum Nisanka made 56, Avishkar Fernando 34 and Kusal Mendes 56 not out. In reply, the Windies face a revised target of 195 in 23 overs. Lewis scored 102 not out off 61 balls, which included 9 fours and 4 sixes, and Shafin Rutherford made an unbeaten 50. Final scores: Sri Lanka 156 for 3, West Indies 196 for 2. Sri Lanka won the series 2-1. Middle order batsman Shafin Rutherford and coach Darren Sammy gave their thoughts on the tour.
Shafin, good show with the bat. Would you like to take the Sri Lankan wickets around the world with you?
First of all, I want to thank God for the opportunity. And I played a lot of wickets. Yeah, it's a good wicket. It was good for me. But yeah, there are some wickets that I would love to take home. And yeah, I would say this is one.
It's just a word on Evan Lewis's batting. I mean, it looked beyond West Indies' reach at one point. You had to chase significantly more than what Sri Lanka got. A word on his effort tonight?
We know Evan is a good player. He's one of West Indies' best white ball cricketer. He's been out for a while, but it's good to see that he come back and he stamp his authority. I've worked with him a while now, and I know what he can do. I'm not surprised, and hopefully that he will continue to do good things for West Indies and for himself.
Throughout the series, the Sri Lankan spinners dominated, taking quite a few wickets, but you seem to be handling them pretty well. What was your game plan against them?
It's a tough wicket to bat on, but I would say it's just one of these series to me. I've been working hard on bat and spin. I've been trying my best to come a bit earlier, before the game starts, to go in the nets and, just try and get accustomed to what I'm going to get in the middle. Thank God that it worked out for me. But, this is a learning for me as well, because it's my first time actually batting on wicket that, spin this big. But as I said, it's just about, finding ways and, just give it your best shot.
Word on the ground stuff. They seem to be doing some amazing work tonight to get the game going.
That's one thing, our team spoke a lot about, the effort and, to see the hunger in the ground staff and not only the players. So, it's good. It's very encouraging. And, I wish I could have all of them, but, they have been pretty good. And, I pray that, God continue to bless them. And, hopefully, they can continue to, make Sri Lanka cricket better.
Shafin, any secrets or any what you are doing about shifting into the typical West Indian batting style?
I've been doing some work on my batting. As I said, I come earlier with coach to go in the nets before the game starts, just to, to get a feel, to just try to be ahead of the game, because, it's very tough to start, but, I give myself the best chance by, batting a few balls in the nets before the game starts, and I think it helps. And it's good for me. As I said, it's a learning as well. So moving forward, it's something to work on as well. Batting spin, because the spin play a big part in this series, but it's just something for me to keep working on, and hopefully I can get better at it.
Coach, emphatic win to end the series, almost a perfect way to close out a series that has been tough or challenging, you would put it?
Yes, we've showed today that look, when we put our minds to committing to a plan, especially with the bat, batting with intent. Evan Lewis, his first game back after almost three years, the way he played was just amazing, and Rutherford has been good throughout the series. 3 consecutive 50s. Those were 2 shining lights for us throughout the series. However, I have to be honest, the way we fielded and the way we bowled throughout the series has not been really up to the mark, and we all know when we were challenged on spin-friendly wickets, our batsmen did not respond. So all in all, it's good to finish with an emphatic win heading into the England series, but a lot of learning from this trip.
2 names you mentioned just now. Evan Lewis firstly, just give us a review of what you thought about it.
Look, Evan, he's one who looks very hungry. I challenge my men in the dressing room to be hungry and stop just wanting to eat. Because, a hungry man will do whatever it takes to find food to eat. So I want hungry cricketers, for West Indies. And Evan, ever since his inclusion into the white ball team, he's been out for a couple of years. But conversations I've had with him, getting him back into the fold, what he has done to get back here and to see him getting instant result. It was really good and pleasant to watch.
And Shafin, this is his 6th ODI, and he already has 4 half centuries.
Again, Shafin, another guy out of the system we've invested in. Again, having everyone up for selection, conversations we've had from a coaching staff with these guys, and to see, Shofin coming in not only in the T20 but in the ODIs, and the way he batted, he really carried our batting throughout the 3 games, and long may it continue. We head off home and right back into it versus England, so hopefully better conditions, and our batsmen could and our team could just give a good account of themselves versus England.
Lastly, that England series, a big rivalry with England. How much are you looking forward to that?
I'm looking forward to it. The last time it was wrong in the Caribbean, we won both series. We created history in our ODI series. And again, I don't know, something about West Indians. Whenever it's time to play England, they're always up for the challenge. It's a big rivalry series, and we at home. And over the last year to 18 months, we've done really well at home in white ball. So get off the plane, right back at it, and hopefully we could give a better display than what we did here in Sri Lanka.
Okay, so that was coach of the West Indies, Darren Sammy. Before that, you heard from middle order batsman Shafin Rutherford. With that, we take a quick break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
It's a showdown of the shows. 6 shows, 1 winner. Who will it be? Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. from Monday, November 4 to Monday, November 11 for the NNN Quiz Competition. Get ready for the ultimate test of knowledge in our thrilling NNN Quiz Competition. Friendships have been transformed into rivalries as our shows compete in the ultimate showdown. With each correct answer, the excitement builds, and with each incorrect one, opportunities are lost. The stakes are high, and the listeners will be on the edge of their seats. The NNN Quiz is back. Tune in between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. during Cliffviews Online from Monday, November 4 to Monday, November 11 for the NNN Quiz Competition. Who will emerge victorious on this edition of the NNN Quiz Competition? Find out only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. The NNN Quiz is brought to you by the Student Center, the Jamaican Association for Debating and Empowerment Jade Limited, Wellington Dental, Mark's Superstore, Max Pharmaceutical, Mats Unlimited, and JTA Credit Union.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Station Live. I'm Alric Swaby working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll continue with our cricket discussion as we are joined by veteran cricket commentator Joseph Red Pereira. Joseph Red Pereira, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Yes, good afternoon to you. Your time is evening time here. It's the first ever professional league final taking place, but I decided that I'll accept the invitation of your station to chat with you because we have so much cricket to talk about. West Indies, Sri Lanka, and New Zealand beating India. Great fight back by Pakistan. And, of course, the upcoming international T20 series in Guyana. But it's your show. Good evening to everyone in Jamaica.
Good evening. Let's start there since as you brought it up with the... Hello?
Hello?
I thought I lost you.
No, you haven't.
Let's start there with the Pro League final. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, I think when it's all over, I think there should be some discussion on the format, whether they should have gone into maybe 2 zones and qualifiers coming through for semi-finals, etc., against maybe having a long league, which seems to be just drawn out. But I don't want to jump to conclusions. You need to talk to the director, the man in charge, about the overall success, the crowd situation, the financial gain by the players, etc. But I think it's a step in the right direction. At least they are trying something. You have a similar situation in Jamaica. I think Trinidad is on to that, and St. Lucia has joined. And no doubt they can learn by checking with other pro leagues.
Right. Let's jump to the West Indies now. Then. Your overall thoughts on the tour, apart from the first T20 and the last ODI, the West Indies batting was could be considered poor. But that's my opinion. How did you see it?
I share that. I would say a disappointing series. You look at the first game which we won, King and Hope.
Wow.
And then you start looking at the rest. It's Rutherford and Moti. Moti was involved in the first game. Last game, Lewis finally got it. They used, of course, Atenes a lot. I thought he could have been replaced after the second game. Lewis would have had an opportunity. Lewis came good today. And Rutherford, who is going off to Australia, his franchise in Australia must be delighted that he has put together not just 3 good scores or not 3 scores that looks good on paper, but it's how he did it. I mean, there were 58 for 8 when himself and Moti came together, and all of a sudden the Sri Lanka spin didn't look as threatening, as difficult. And they played totally with common sense, which probably leaves a lot of questions about our technical skills, which leave a lot of questions about the batting coach. I certainly feel that it's time for Desmond Haynes to come in to the West Indies board setup and use his experience to try and get these guys to be able to plan innings, deal with di- difficult bowling and difficult lengths and things like that, But in a sense, I don't believe that Darren Sammy has got what he wanted out of the store. Not everybody got a chance to play. I saw that the young man from Antigua got a game today, but I would like to see him share the gloves, because he kept so well for the West Indies at the on the 19 level. But I don't believe there are many takeaways. And the big question is, as we look to the next short format at home, is how many players will be available. That's always the question, where you want to fancy the West Indies chances, you want to look at the West Indies chances, and you don't know who will be available. Like, there were so many unavailable for selection for this tour.
Right. Tell me, from the T20 to the ODIs, the batsmen seems to struggle. Well, not seems, but the batsmen struggle against the spin, and they have been doing so for some time now. Is it time for the board or the technical persons to look into this and say, okay, let's work on this?
Apart from the first game, we struggled against the spin throughout the first series and the second series. And this was some of the spinners that we saw in the CPL, that some of our players played against in the CPL. And don't forget, there was an excellent spinner from the Kings, Noor. So there was a lot of good spin to practice for the Sri Lanka tour. But again, I want to make the point that I do not believe that our batting coach is good enough to take them to a higher level. I think in the interest of Darren Sammy and the coaching staff, it's time to move to Desmond Haynes. But will the board do that? I doubt it.
Right, and then we played a clip earlier before you came on with Sammy. He wasn't pleased with the bowling and fielding either. One of the big things after the second match is that the bowlers were having difficulty gripping the ball because it was wet. This is a conditions that cricketers have to play under. Is that a reasonable, well, I don't want to say excuse, but point to hold for the poor bowling?
Well, can we expect it to get better? I mean, the length of fast balls, the two Josephs, both just bowling too short, allowing a cut shot, hook shot, being very expensive. I think the same could be said of Shepherd. The one outstanding bowler we had was, in fact, Moti. What can they do about it? We do not have the depth. So can the bowling staff finally get them to bowl a line and bowl a length and create pressure, create some dot balls, deny runs? That's not happening. The runs are coming much too easily, where we have to work so hard for our runs. And, this follows a disappointing World Cup. You can get carried away by Sabi's success for the Kings, but that's a franchise.
Right.
This is the West Indies, and you're going to run into England here in the West Indies. That is going to be fairly competitive, whatever is the side is available. I see Stokes may not, in fact, come because of trying to keep his work rate to a low level. But it was not a successful tour. Sabi didn't get what he wanted out of the tour going forward. The rain didn't help. I mean, my first and only visit to Sri Lanka, it was the same thing. The matches, the test matches for sure, were spoiled by rain. The shorter format, well, we got through most of them.
Right. But tell me, when you look at how the team performed, what are some of the things that you think need to be fixed and fixed fast before we go into this tour, England tour of the Caribbean?
Well, they've got to decide on the openers. I mean, because right now in contention, you have King, you have Lewis. I don't believe they can continue to use Athens as an opener. I think you have to drop a little lower and look at his batting attitude. Johnson Charles, after the operation in Jamaica, probably will come back into the reckoning. So they have an option on who's going to open, whether they can use Hope a little deeper. But you can't have King Hope and Johnson Charles. It just doesn't make sense. And they have to decide on so many areas which didn't go well in Sri Lanka. Can our bowlers get over the amount of four balls, the amount of bad balls? They got to decide on the middle order. It's not an easy time as they head back home to face England shortly.
There were some suggestions that the curator of this venue would have set the pitch to suit Sri Lankan bowlers. You think this is... What do you think of that, first of all, that theory? And you think this is something that should be done when England tour the West Indies, or if we have such a culture to do such things, or expertise?
Well, the home advantage has been used since the first ball has been bowled in cricket. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that we handle the adjustment. I think the first game we saw a genuine quick pitch, which probably didn't suit the Sri Lankan bowlers. Not that they didn't have fast bowlers themselves who could come and take a wicket at the top. But that doesn't say because they switched the focus on getting more turn that our batsmen dealt with that. I think that Samuel will have to accept that that's the prerogative of the host association. Just as you make that point, we are playing Bangladesh soon, and one would have thought that our strength, quote unquote, lies in not in spin, although Moti is there. I don't know if they'll add Hussein to Moti. And that's a question which has come up, whether Hussein could play in the ODIs. We should be hitting Bangladesh with a fast attack with Seals and Joseph and Holder, etc. But they haven't chosen, for example, St. Lucia, where it will help our fast attack. So I don't believe we seem to be thinking along those lines. Right.
And tell me, like you said, when you look at this team that would have gone on this tour of Sri Lanka, who are the persons that, if you were a part of the selection committee, you would keep, and those that you would bring in to strengthen the team as we welcome England?
Well, I think that this tour to Sri Lanka should have been used or could have been used to display some of the talent that we saw during the CPL. The left-arm young Barbadian fast bowler, Simmons, I think everybody remember him bowling down King, bowling down Hope with a Yorker. I thought he could have gone in place of Hines. There was a Barbadian right-hander, I think his name is Paris. I thought that some of the talent that we saw might have been included. But that was not done. The statement from Sami, we are looking at our bench, we are looking at our reserves, so to speak. I think that was the disruption. But I don't believe that because we are under pressure to try and win the first series that we were in a position to maybe make the changes and blood those young people on tour. I mean, some people hardly got a look in. Some people who played today and didn't touch the ball, didn't get a hit. So we might have taken a slightly sort of different side looking to unearth new talent. I don't want to jump ahead on your program, but look what Pakistan did.
Right.
Pakistan got walloped in the first test, embarrassed, and they managed to dig deep in their reserves and found batsmen and found bowlers who today bowl out England for what 112 in the second innings. They took their relevant action based on cricket sense.
Right.
I mean, our cupboard is kind of bare. Our first class season is very short. We don't have a lot of players to choose from, unlike maybe other test playing countries who have vast populations and a vast, older cricket structure. So I don't know what they're going to do. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Kohli will come up with the test series against Bangladesh. There are two, one in Antigua and one in Jamaica.
Right.
But England is going to fancy their chances, and the West Indies will certainly have to lift their game. Conditions will be less bowler friendly, I would think, against England in the West Indies. But people have got to show slate in the middle. We are losing our batsmen with some innocuous choices of shots and dismissal. People are running down the wicket and getting stopped by yards. And, I think the head it's just more than concentration. It's technique and everything sort of built into one.
Right. Newly appointed coach of the Jamaica Scorpions, he mentioned that one of the things he would like to see is the strengthening of the territorial competition, the senior competition in Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados. But he was speaking about Jamaica in order to cultivate strong cricketers to send to the West Indies level. Tell me, do you think that's a good idea for Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, Guyana, and others to strengthen their domestic leagues in order to build better cricketers? So when they come to the West Indies, they come with a strong arsenal.
Well, I think basically there's just too much white ball cricket being played. I mean, Guyana is just about, I think, today to start a new white ball competition for the ages, the very young. Trinidad has not had any red ball competition for a very long time. So that has to be tied in with a different focus where people will play more red ball cricket. Now, red ball cricket isn't easy to get sponsorship because it's not sexy.
Right.
The shorter format is easy for the boards throughout the region to get sponsorship. But sometimes you got to make the hard decision. Our first class season is the shortest in the world. We just did not enough red ball cricket is being played. And there's an interesting case. A point made by Ronnie Salwan, the former West Indies batsman. He said a lot of young Guyanese cricketers are getting NOCs to go and play in America. And they go there for 3 months. It's not like spending 3 months in England as a young player,
right,
where you can come back with your fundamentals well looked after because of the coaching and the conditions. Players go to England and come back better. players are going to the U.S. playing a low level type cricket and maybe financially better in their pockets, but not better technically.
Wow.
And that is something that Samoan said is not helping to develop what used to be a country that normally produced a fair amount of batsmen. We'll have to see how the focus that you referred to is going. But just today I was reading about another T20 being organized by the West Indies board in May.
Wow.
You know, white ball. The fundamentals, technically flawed players are in fact developing.
Right. Let's touch on the recent Women's World Cup. I didn't get an opportunity to hear your thoughts on the West Indies women's performance in that tournament. We exited the tournament at the semi-final stage against New Zealand. But give me quickly your overall view of how the team performed.
Well, I think the highlight was the surprise to the world that we beat England and knocked them out of the semi-final. Other than that, I think, we lost very badly to South Africa by 10 wickets. We were expected to beat Scotland, expected to beat Sri Lanka, expected to beat Bangladesh. I didn't think that it was a great performance, but the highlight, which probably gives us the impression that the team did very well, was beating in England and making the semi-final. Mm-hmm. And I felt against New Zealand, if we had kept our heads together, we could have been a lot more competitive. But looking down the road, there's a question to whether Stephanie Taylor can get over or injuries or fitness problems. We need to develop our fast bowlers are all over the hill. There's so many boxes that needs to be ticked. We don't have a school system where there's cricket in the Caribbean. Girls play netball, they play track, they run volleyball, they play basketball, they swim, but nobody plays secondary school cricket, and therefore our girls are learning the game big. We need to get cricket at the secondary schools among our girls, and that's where the future talent, that's where the other countries are beating us, because they play a lot of cricket at a younger level, right. and their players are much more developed technically with good skills even before they get into their national teams.
Right. Okay, then, Red Pereira, I must say thanks a lot for stopping by and sharing your thoughts with us. We wish you all the best.
Yes, and let's see how the Guyana Super 20 will go. We were looking forward to the Guyana Amazon Warriors even naming a stronger team, because Bangladesh and Pakistan and Australia and England are sending teams. Let's see how they're going to put together a side that will really sort of represent not only Guyana but represent the West Indies.
Okay, then. Okay, that was Joseph Red Pereira, veteran cricket commentator. Joseph, good evening, and again, thanks much for joining us. Joseph Red Pereira, veteran cricket commentator. We'll take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I'll soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We are having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really ClickView, Stonky?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour. Fired.
Also, tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was ClickView really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, Nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media. It's a showdown of the shows. 6 shows, 1 winner. Who will it be? Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. from Monday, November 4 to Monday, November 11 for the NNN Quiz Competition. Get ready for the ultimate test of knowledge in our thrilling NNN Quiz Competition. Friendships have been transformed into rivalries as our shows compete in the ultimate showdown. With each correct answer, the excitement builds, and with each incorrect one, opportunities are lost. The stakes are high, and the listeners will be on the edge of their seats. The NNN Quiz is back. Tune in between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. during ClickViews Online from Monday, November 4 to Monday, November 11 for the NNN Quiz Competition. Who will emerge victorious on this edition of the NNN Quiz Competition? Find out only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. The NNN quiz is brought to you by the Student Center, the Jamaican Association for Debating and Empowerment Jade Limited, Wellington Dental, Mark's Superstore, Max Pharmaceutical, Mats Unlimited, and JTA Credit Union.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex We'll be working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some badminton now, as badminton is one of several sporting disciplines acts from the 10-sport program for the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Field hockey, triathlon, badminton, T20 cricket, squash, and diving were also dropped from the games. The Commonwealth Games program will have athletics, swimming, gymnastics, netball, weightlifting, boxing, judo, bowls, along with track cycling and 3-on-3 basketball. There will also be integrated para events in 6 sports: athletics, swimming, track cycling, weightlifting, bowls, and basketball. President of the Jamaica Badminton Association, Vishwanath Tolan, has expressed disappointment in the decision to cut badminton.
It is disappointing news for badminton athletes from around the Commonwealth, because the Commonwealth Games, as you know, is a multi-sport event, and it has been extremely important for player pathways within the region. So with it being eliminated from this staging, it does pose a big blow to development of athletes in the region, particularly those that may not have the opportunity to travel to a lot of high caliber tournaments. The Commonwealth Games itself usually provides that opportunity because the standard is so high with countries such as Malaysia and Singapore and England.
Okay, so that was President Vishwanath Tolan. We have the President on the line. Vishwanath, good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Like you would have heard from the clip, we spoke with you earlier this week on the topic, the action of badminton and other racket sports from the Commonwealth Games. Like you mentioned in the clip, you are very disappointed about that. But tell me, what has the players lost in the fact that they'll not have the opportunity to go to the Commonwealth Games?
Yeah, so, as mentioned in the clip, what essentially is lost is the opportunity to play at what's considered to be the second biggest game for badminton for players in this side of the world. It's something over the years, going back a few decades, that players in the region, and in particular players in Jamaica, train towards, they look forward to it. It's one of the marquee events on their calendar every 4 years. And our players often look forward to the opportunity to vie for a spot on that Commonwealth team. So, again, to answer the question, a lot has been lost in the fact that it's been eliminated from the upcoming games.
Right, and tell me, you would have been touching base with your players. What has been the feedback from them?
So, it's pretty similar to what I've said a while ago. I was having a discussion recently, and it's not necessarily hit home for all athletes as yet. It's not been communicated fully, but the last time we had the Commonwealth Games, which was 2022, we had athletes traveling from as far as England coming to Jamaica to participate in the playoff for the Commonwealth Games team. That's how much it means to our athletes. And so as they progress and they seek to build their level of competitiveness in the sport, it is rather disappointing. But in all of this, what I think is important for us as an association to look at is that while the games itself is not going to come around this time for badminton, there are other opportunities that we can look to tap into for our players to get the required level of exposure and that type of competition going into the next few years. And for us, yes, it's a disappointing situation as indicated, but we accept it, we understand it, and there's no coming back from it right now. So we move forward. And in moving forward, we're looking at how else, what can replace it, or not necessarily replace, but how else can we ensure that whatever experiences that our athletes would have benefited from can still be reaped going into the next 2 to 3 year cycle.
Right, which is what one other thing I was going to ask you. Has this cancellation or cutting of badminton from the Commonwealth Games affected how the players train and prepare going forward?
Yeah, so the thing about it is there are other games as well that are important on the calendar. That's the CAC Games and the Pan American Games. In addition, the Olympics, which is the pinnacle for badminton in the world, is going to be 4 years from now. And so for our players that are elite and are interested in that type of player pathway, then there are other avenues for them to explore. Key to note as well is that the Commonwealth Games does not provide Olympic points. So while the Games itself, again, is eliminated for this time around, our players will have the opportunity, once they're on that pathway and they seek it out, to play at the highest level of competition globally, and to benefit from opportunities in the region and outside of the region as well. And that would include things like BWF tournaments at each grade or each level of competition. It includes the games I indicated a while ago, such as the CAC Games and the Pan American Games. It also includes regional championships like the Pan American Championships, which were actually held in Jamaica last year. And so there are other opportunities.
Yes.
And so the players will have the ability to ensure that their pathway opportunities are available.
Right. Were your association or the regional body given any assurance that for coming games, badminton will not be axed from the program?
No. We were never given any assurances. And in following the progression of everything, I note, I think it was from 1 year ago, that there was a challenge even finding a replacement host for the Commonwealth Games. And the Olympic Association president, Mr. Chris Samoa, spoke to it as well, that they are trying, that is the Commonwealth Games Federation, to find a new host for the tournament. And in following even the media reports, it was recognized that it would have been a scaled-down version. And in recognizing that it was a scaled-down version, we know that there was always a risk for badminton to not be included. We were really hoping that it would not have been one of those that we were really hoping that it would have been one of those that made the 10, but unfortunately that's not the case this time. But for the other sports that are included, I'm happy for them. And, for Jamaica, I'm hoping that those other sports will be able to benefit wholesomely from participation in the 2026 games.
Right. Let's do some housekeeping. The calendar for badminton locally, the last 2 months will be very packed. Starting with the Badminton Jamaica Sports Summit on November 9. Tell us about that and what's to come out of that summit.
Yeah, man. So November is badminton month here in Jamaica. That's what we've declared it now as.
Right.
We're beginning the month with the summit. It's a sports summit hosted by us, called Badminton Jamaica Sports Summit. We're inviting non-badminton athletes, coaches, parents, officials as well. And what that summit is essentially focused on is giving insight to various stakeholders within our sport and others on key things that we understand to be important for any elite athlete or any young athlete that's aiming to be elite. And topics to be covered include things such as branding you, crafting your legacy beyond the court or beyond the field, which will really focus on how to master your social media and attract sponsors, build your own personal brand as an athlete. We're also going to be focusing on fueling the champion within you, mind and muscle. And that will essentially explore the synergy of mental toughness, nutrition, injury prevention, and how to find your peak physical performance. And the final topic would be mastering your role on your elite pathway and understanding essentially how athletes, coaches, agents, family contribute to the creation of a winning mentality going into elite sports. So it's ultimately focused on expanding the knowledge base of elite sports and how important it is for athletes and other stakeholders to be cognizant of this. We have speakers, for example, such as Mr. Bruce James, who is, a renowned agent in the track and field sphere. We have Owen Hill, who is the CEO of Jamaica Premier League, who's done an excellent job in terms of just branding the Premier League. It's going to be moderated by Ricardo Chambers, and we have a plethora of very knowledgeable experts to speak. We also have, for example, from an athlete perspective, Mr. Frederick Bakers, who is a discus thrower, former World Championship silver medalist, who, as a panelist, will be sharing his pathway details. And so it's ultimately going to be a very wholesome, very insightful series of panel discussions. Following that, we have our All Jamaica National Championship.
Before you go there, tell me this summit, who is it targeting and how can one participate?
Right, so it's targeting athletes that have an elite objective in their respective sports. Ages, for these athletes in particular, we're targeting age 14 and up. We're also targeting coaches because we'll be speaking to the evolution of coaching. And we've invited Mr. Eric Rademacher from Kingston Football Academy to speak on that. And we're also inviting administrators and parents. So that is our target market. Players, coaches, administrators, and yeah.
How do one participate? Is there a cost?
Yeah, no, so there's no cost. The spaces are limited. You can email us at jbaadmin@badmintonjamaica.org. That's jbaadmin@badmintonjamaica.org to inquire about it. You could also go on our Instagram page, is Jamaica Badminton Association's Instagram page, and you will find the details. And it has a link where you can actually apply if you're interested. Right. Again, the spaces are limited, so once you sign up, you'll get a response from our team indicating if you have been registered or not.
Right. And what
we've also shared the invitations with other sporting associations.
Right.
And so the invitation would be going out, or we expect that they've already gone out to some sporting bodies.
Right. And just quickly, give us a roundup of the other stuff that you have planned for November into December.
So we have our All Jamaica National Championships the weekends of the 16th and the 23rd of November. That will be held at the YMCA. So that's expected to be an excellent affair. We have Talia Richardson coming in. She's overseas, so she'll be flying in to defend her triple championship. The final weekend, which is going to be November 30th, December 1st, we're doing our Grand Prix final. And that essentially is the final for the players that have accumulated the most points in open men and women singles. And our Air Badminton National Championships is the first time we're ever hosting it. So that will culminate Badminton month here in Jamaica. So it's a packed month. It's going to be an exciting month for badminton. And we look forward to the support from the community. And again, for the Badminton Jamaica Sports Summit, it's the first time we're ever hosting it. And we look forward to hosting not just badminton athletes, but also other aspiring athletes from other sports.
Okay, then, Vishwanath, again, thanks much for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. You too. Okay, so that was Vishwanath Tolan, president of the Jamaica Badminton Association. We take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
You've weathered the storm, but rebuilding and preparing for back to school have taken a toll. It's time to get some money in your pocket. At Chris and Charles, we understand your financial needs. With just a quick call, you can access funds to catch up on bills and cover unexpected expenses. Our process is fast, simple, with funds deposited in your account in no time. Don't stress, get money in your pocket. Call 876-926-0609 or visit our website today. Conditions apply. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
It's a showdown of the shows. 6 shows, 1 winner. Who will it be? Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. from Monday, November 4 to Monday, November 11 for the NNN Quiz Competition. Get ready for the ultimate test of knowledge in our thrilling NNN Quiz Competition. Friendships have been transformed into rivalries as our shows compete in the ultimate showdown. With each correct answer, the excitement builds, and with each incorrect one, opportunities are lost. The stakes are high, and the listeners will be on the edge of their seats. The NNN Quiz is back. Tune in between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. during Cliffviews Online from Monday, November 4 to Monday, November 11 for the NNN Quiz Competition. Who will emerge victorious on this edition of the NNN Quiz Competition? Find out only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. The NNN Quiz is brought to you by the Student Center, the Jamaican Association for Debating and Empowerment Jade Limited, Wellington Dental, Mark's Superstore, Max Pharmaceutical, Mats Unlimited, and JTA Credit Union.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. We're in our Gridiron segment, the Jerome Gridiron. We'll be talking some NFL now with the guru of everything NFL, that is Paul Vaughn and Remy Evans. And we also have in studio Jerome Jarrett. And he'll a bit touchy. Well, let me turn it over to Jerome.
Alec, I'm not going to trouble today. It's your birthday. You're just coming back to work. A new shirt and all. You know, I'm not going to care this afternoon. But welcome back, man.
I'm glad to be back.
Shirt look white, my wife taking care of you.
Most definitely.
Okay. All right. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing this afternoon?
Doing well, man. How you been?
Not bad. This rain is it's nice. Cool down place. It's good. Paul, what's the weather like in Maryland today?
Not too bad. It was a good day today. I can't complain. No rain.
All right, well, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, you have some cold weather coming down the turnpike, but you should be fine.
Yeah, don't call it down on me, brother. Don't call it down on me.
Yeah, man, you should be good. All right, let's jump into last week's action where Jerome was right, where Jerome was wrong. Jerome was, there's a little bit of both last week. A little bit of both. The Atlanta Falcons. I thought the Atlanta Falcons would have gone in hosting Seattle. I didn't think there was any way Seattle looked like they were reeling. I didn't think they would have gone in and beaten Atlanta Falcons team that let's be honest, it should be a step a class above a Seattle team. But Geno Smith is playing some solid football, and took his Seattle Seahawks into Atlanta, Paul, and dismantled the Atlanta Falcons. Is Atlanta fool's gold? Should we be wary of these Atlanta Falcons?
I don't think they're fool's gold. I think it's a matter of consistency with that team. Particularly in that matchup, you have to give it to Seattle. Seattle's defense showed up and they played an excellent game. Geno has been solid for most of the season. He's made some early season mistakes, But I have some concerns with the injuries that they have and pretty much what the rest of their season looks like. I think Atlanta just needs to get themselves back to their identity, and that is using the play action to really get Kirk Cousins going and use the other weapons to put points on the board. But other than that, I think those are two good teams, and Seattle just won on the day.
Yeah, where Jerome was wrong. The Minnesota Vikings, I thought, should have handled business at home against Detroit. Detroit, we need to stop and take note. Remember that this is not our grandparents' Detroit Lions. This is not the Detroit Lions of old. This is a Detroit Lions team that will bite your kneecap off. I mean, Detroit went into Minnesota and dominated.
I was waiting for that. Jerome getting predictable in old age, man. Come
on. They went into Minnesota and dominated. Is that more a testament to how good this Detroit Lions team is, or Minnesota? Actually, they have lost 2 straight. Are we seeing chinks in the armor in that Minnesota Vikings team?
Well, I think we really have to, take our hats off to the Detroit Lions. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but at the start of the season, I had Detroit winning the NFC, and they haven't done anything to change my mind. But at the same time, you really have to give the Minnesota Vikings, a lot of credit, because this game came down to a last-second kick. And up until that point, the Vikings were undefeated. One of the things that I think the Lions have over everybody in the NFC is their ability to control the game when it matters most, and that starts with their offensive line. And what they decided is, hey, we need to protect Jared, and whenever we do that, Jared plays lights out, and the final drive that put them in position to get the game-winning kick, they were able to do it. My only concern with the Lions moving forward is that, with the loss of Aiden Hutchinson, they don't really have that pass rush. And they did give up, was 29 points to the Vikings. So, they have to clean it up a little bit. So I'm waiting to see what they do on the trade deadline. But, right now, I think you have to give the Lions all the credit in the world. They're able to pull out a win in a very tough place. I'll be, the Vikings losing 2 games in a row. I would not, rule out the Vikings. That they're still a strong team, and I expect them to make the playoffs. But right now, the Lions are top of the NFC, in my opinion.
Yeah, where Jerome was right. I didn't understand why the Kansas City Chiefs were underdogs against the San Francisco 49ers team, who, let's be honest, Andy Reid is 4-0 against Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan has not been able to figure out Patrick Mahomes. He's not been able to figure out the defense of the San Francisco 49ers and Steve Spagnuolo. Paul, and it's not getting any easier for the San Francisco 49ers, because they are now down 2 receivers. Deebo Samuels is out a couple of weeks, and Brian Ayuk is out for a prolonged period of time. Kittle is day to day. 3-4 now, San Francisco. Is this San Francisco team, are we starting to see in their age? And should we worry about the San Francisco making it to the playoffs?
I am worried about them, because you talk about the pieces that they have both defensively and offensively being injured. McCaffrey hasn't made his debut for the season as yet. Deebo, who's a linchpin for them, he has an illness. The all-pro Titan is injured. The left tackle, got himself into a scuffle and was ejected out of a game. This is where Brock Purdy is going to have to try to hold the ship together, because he's due for a big contract. And I think with all the things happening to them right now, it's looking as if it's, touchy periods for them during the season, especially with the Rams only 1 game out from taking the lead in the division that they're in. So
exactly,
let's see how they step up to the plate. I still think they're talented, and they're the type of team that can actually kind of rally around some of this and probably pull off a couple of victories in cases where they were not necessarily as strong as they should be.
Talking about teams that pull out victories in cases where they should not have, where Jerome was wrong. I have the New York Jets going into Pittsburgh and beating a Pittsburgh team that I'm going to admit that I was wrong for 1 week. That Mike Tomlin seemed like he made the right decision moving from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson. I'll be the first to say I was skeptical of that decision. But Russ played well. Russ cooked. And because of that, Sheffins, Pittsburgh scored 37 points. This is the most points they've played the most points they've scored all season. Remy, is this Pittsburgh team with Russell Wilson a scarier version than it was with Justin Fields?
Most definitely. I said it to you last week.
He didn't say it. Stop it.
I did say Justin Fields in 6 starts threw for under 150 yards, 4 out of the 6 starts. That is not sustainable. Right? I did say that. I said that I don't think Justin Fields, I don't really think he's the answer for them. Yes, he's athletic. Yes, he has to the running game. But as we know, this is a passing league, and you need to be able to throw the ball. Right? To answer your question, I tell you what, I was right there with you. I thought that the Jets would have beaten the Steelers because I expected Russell to, be a little bit rusty. And I guess I was going off of what
he started rusty. He started very rusty.
He started very slow
because the team, the fans were booing him. The fans were booing him first quarter. Like they started rough.
But I'll tell you this: the Steelers have all the ingredients of a contending team if they get solid play from the quarterback. They have a good head coach, a strong head coach. They have a solid defense. They have a good running game. They have very talented weapons, with the receivers and the tight end, and like I said, and the running backs. If the quarterback play is average or a little above average, they're going to be a tough out for anybody in the playoffs.
Yeah, talking about a tough out for anybody in the playoffs, Baltimore is probably the best team in the NFL. Their record might not suggest that they are the best team in the NFL, but you don't want to play the Baltimore Ravens. They are a toenail away from being 6-1 or probably 7-0. They are a tough team, Paul. They went into Tampa, and Tampa is one of those tough teams to play. They pushed Tampa around for 4 quarters. And in that game we see where Tampa lost their 2 top wide receivers. Chris Godwin done for the year, playing in garbage time, and Mike Evans, blowing his hamstring. The Baltimore Ravens are a scary team. They are a scary team. But we've seen this before. We've seen Baltimore Ravens blow through the regular season, number 1 seed. Are you impressed by this Baltimore Ravens team, or you just want to wait until January before you say, let me see this in the playoffs?
Remy and I had this conversation earlier in the week, and I completely agree. Baltimore, to me, is the best team in the NFL right now, just from a talent perspective. The record doesn't really tell you the entire story, because the games that they did lose, you're talking about, just margins of errors that are minuscule. When you have a Lamar Jackson and then you have Derrick Henry, who they've expertly kind of brought them into that offense, like things are really just clicking for them. I think if they have any weaknesses, that defense is not as wanted as it was last season. And putting them against the Kansas City Chiefs, you really want to see exactly how they will match up against a KC defense that right now is probably the best defense in the league, hands down. Spagnuolo, for whatever reason, does have the kind of approach that, allows them to play with one hand behind their back. And I'm more interested to see exactly how they make adjustments with a Derrick Henry going into January and February.
You're right. Is Baltimore the best team in the league right now? We have Kansas City at 6-0. We have the Detroit Lions, I think, 5-2 or 5-1?
5-1.
We who else we have in the 5-1 range? I think, now we have the Minnesota Vikings 5-2. But do you think the Baltimore Ravens are the toughest team in the league? Given we've seen Kansas City play Baltimore and beat them. We've seen Kansas City has played the toughest schedule so far, and they're 6-0. Are we underestimating this Kansas City Chiefs team?
No, I don't. Here's what I would say. To answer your question, I think the best team in the league right now are the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Baltimore Ravens are playing the best football, and they're the more exciting watch, right? Because we have never seen Baltimore with a Derrick Henry. I mean, Lamar Jackson on his own is must-see TV. Derrick Henry is an inhuman running back, and the Ravens are actually special this year on offense. They have a chance to do a lot of great things, and like I said, they're a fun team to watch. I think Kansas City is playing excellent complementary football right now. I don't think I could rank the Ravens ahead of the Chiefs because, number one, the Chiefs are unbeaten, and the Chiefs have beaten the Ravens head-to-head. The Chiefs, offensively, is not on the level of Baltimore's, but I think that can be offset by the fact that the Ravens' defense is not on the level of the Chiefs' defense. So it's almost as if in 2 years, the Chiefs have turned into the Ravens, and the Ravens have turned into the Chiefs, if that makes sense. So right now, I would definitely say the Chiefs are the best team in football.
Go ahead, Paul.
But to add to that, Remy, to add to that, not to cut you, I really want to see how these two teams progress into the last third of the season. The moves that Kansas City has made, and then, of course, Baltimore's performance when they go up against, other teams in the division, and the tail end of the season. We should have some interesting matchups. They're still favored, but I really want to see how they look with, let's say 3 games left in the regular season. And we can have this conversation again.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that.
Earlier in the season, we said that Pittsburgh, the way their style of offense is not sustainable. How Kansas City Chiefs are playing offense is not sustainable either. Yes, we were saying the Pittsburgh Steelers scoring 15 points a game and was I think 3-0 was not sustainable.
No, we never
we just said you said that. Remy, you said that it wasn't sustainable under Justin Fields.
Can we move on from the he said, she said thing?
Let's move on from that. So the point I'm making, the way Kansas City Chiefs is playing offense right now, I don't believe it's sustainable. Patrick Mahomes has more interceptions than touchdowns, even though he is still he's still playing the quarterback position at a high level, but they really have, they gave up a first round pick to get Xavier Worthy. He's not panned out so far. They just gave up a 4th round draft pick to get DeAndre Hopkins. Travis Kelce looks like a shell of himself. They just lost another receiver, Sky Moore. The running back position, they're just piecing pieces together. Is this sustainable for the Chiefs? Are they? Can they really ride that defense all the way to another Super Bowl? Paul.
Oh, okay.
All right. But let me put it this way, and it actually makes me nauseous to say this. Kansas City is approaching the game of football like the New England Patriots at the peak of their performance. And by that I mean, this Kansas City team will beat you any which way necessary, and they'll not only game plan, but for them it's about looking at situations and making the right adjustments, especially in-game adjustments and particularly at second half adjustments. To kind of add some caveat to the interceptions of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is playing with a bunch of guys right now that there's limited familiarity. Worthy is not a number 1 receiver. This guy is just coming into the NFL, and really what he needs is a receiver who's about possession and moving the ball. So he's taking risks and probably making plays that he wouldn't do on a regular basis. That being said, this defense that they have is good enough for this team to do what they did last year, and they went to the Super Bowl, which is pretty much just put 14 points on the board and then set to your defense, go out there and hunt and get them. And that's worked.
Is it sustainable? You believe it's sustainable? Especially with Patrick
Mahomes. They did it last year.
No. They had talent last year. What I mean? You had Rashid Rice. They had Juju wasn't there last year. Travis Kelce was disappointing, but he came on later in the year. But like you said, there's a team that can do it. It's definitely the Kansas City Chiefs. So let me come off the Kansas City Chiefs. Where Jerome was right, I thought Washington should have handled Carolina pretty easily, but something happened in that game, Remy, that I'm sure is causing you some level of discomfort right now. Where probably in your ribs, where the young quarterback Jaden Daniels, I think he fractured a rib, or he had a rib injury.
He's not a fractured rib,
but he had a rib injury.
He has a rib injury, and he might play tomorrow. I'll tell you, I hope that he doesn't. I think they should hold him off for another week, because I think the offense, surprisingly, did not miss a beat with Mariota out there. Yeah. I mean, I know people say, well, you're playing Carolina. That's true. There's something to that. And we, play the Bears on Sunday. But I have a lot of confidence in Mariota. I also have a lot of confidence in Cliff Kingsbury. And if we want to contend for a playoff spot, I don't want to put Jaden out there and, makes the injury worse playing against a really solid Chicago Bears defense. So I still think we're capable of winning the game tomorrow.
So coming out of college, the knock on Jane Daniels is that he's skinny. He while he's tall, he's not a big boy. He's scrawny.
He's 6'4" and 210.
Scrawny. Put him against a lineman. He looks like, he's not the biggest boy.
So most human beings are next to a lineman that looks scrawny.
So he's not the biggest boy in the world, right?
Right.
One of the concerns coming out of college was health concerns for him. Does this injury makes you a little nervous moving forward with Jade Daniels?
No, actually it doesn't, because the play in which he got the rib injury, it wasn't a hit. It was how he fell. And how he was
that's even worse.
Body.
That's even worse for me.
I've been watching all the games, and I've seen him take hits, and he's actually quite pliable. So I mean, when he gets hit, they're not getting square hits on him. Like they're not hitting him full 100% collision. It's not like that. So he's fine. I mean, it's not like
he's definitely fine. He's fine and not good looking. He's a scrawny kid.
Okay, let's move on.
He's a scrawny kid. He's a scrawny kid.
But he is slight of build, and I think it's something that in the off season, they're gonna put him on a weight regimen and he'll put on some pounds and what have you. But in terms of his playing style and his toughness and his competitiveness, I mean, he'll be fine.
Yeah. Talking about off season, Deshaun Watson suffered a torn Achilles injury in the loss to Cincinnati, and he's done for the year. I know on this program we've said a number of times that maybe he needs to be benched. Nobody wants to see a player get injured. I mean, and to hear the fans celebrate his injury, for me, was a very low moment in Cleveland Browns history. Added to the list of other boneheaded moments in the Cleveland Browns history. But I thought that was a classless 5 minutes from the Cleveland Brown fans. Paul, what did you make of it?
I mean, I'll be very honest. I agree with you. Look, they're hypocrites to me, because if the Deshaun Watson that they actually acquired from the Houston Texans was the Deshaun Watson of Houston Texans, and he went down, if he was performing, if he was playing great, people wouldn't be booing him. It's not on the merit of the things that he would have done off the field while he behaves like that. I think it's the culmination of those, accusations, if you want to call it that, or those out-of-court settlements, and the fact that he was looking like hot garbage on the football field. And I mean, regardless of the situation, a human being is down with an injury, and it's your own player, and you're going to boo the man, that was kind of tasteless. I'm not his biggest fan on the merit of the things he's done. In fact, I'm not here to judge the man either, but booing that man when he's down is a very low bar kind of move from Cleveland fans, and no other fan base deserve that level of mediocrity than they do because of stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Cleveland being Cleveland. Remy, what were your thoughts?
Well, it's so funny that it happened, and funny from the standpoint that Jerome last week. You remember when I said the only way we're going to see Deshaun Watson not play for the Cleveland Browns if he gets injured. Mm-hmm. Right, and then it happens the next week. So I realize I have to use my powers for good. I can't just say things, careless.
Go up more the man, boss.
Just say Jerome will win the lotto this week.
Okay, I'll try my best. But what I will say is the Cleveland fans doing that is wrong. I don't think that is up for discussion, and I don't think it is worthy of debate in any way, in any shape, sense, or form. Right. However, I can certainly understand, the level of frustration, because it is the biggest contract in the history of the franchise. They have a lot of high hopes. Cleveland is a long-suffering NFL fan base, and they saw Deshaun Watson as a savior of sorts. And they thought, finally, we have had a franchise quarterback since God knows when. I think the last one was Bernie Kosar back in the day. They really have.
They had Baker.
They had Baker for a little while. and they're like, okay, now we're going to be contending team. Now we're gonna get up there. We're playing the playoffs last year with 4 different quarterbacks, and he has played terribly. And I think they just took out their frustration and said what they felt and was on their mind, and it's not right. But I understand where they're coming from, and we can only hope that people engage in some form of self-reflection at the end of the day, but I don't think they do. But I understand where they're coming from, and it was definitely wrong.
And this is why you and I, Remy, have been back and forth for years about loyalty in sports. And when I say to you that the term loyalty in sport for me is almost like an oxymoron, because fans are not loyal, teams are not loyal, yet they expect loyalty from players. I go out every day and I put my body on the line for this logo, but the fans have no loyalty to me at all. The team has no loyalty to me at all, but I, the player, need to be loyal to this franchise. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Can I interject? For a second?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, you have to kind of go back to the main root of what a fan is. It's literally short for fanatic. These people don't think from a logical framework, boss. I mean, for the most part, they're there to be entertained. You are a gladiator pretty much putting up your literal body to be demolished and destroyed, and it's for their entertainment. You don't necessarily like it, but football players, basketball players, most athletes go out there realizing that there's this delicate balance of the relationship that they share with the fan, where you entertain them and you get paid very well for doing so. So in some ways, I agree with you, Jerome. It's not about loyalty. It's a business transaction. But there is still a level of humanity and class that must exist, because we're not savages. You feel me?
No, there has to be, and this is why for me I always tell players, go get your money. Like, don't care about the color of your jersey. Don't care about these teams, because these teams don't care about you. The moment you are no longer relevant to these teams, they're gonna get rid of you. Teams have absolutely no loyalty to you, and as a fan, I have no loyalty to any team either. I don't own the team. I don't own the team. I don't have no loyalty to any team. Yeah, man, cool.
All right, I just want to say, to elaborate on the point that Paul made. When it comes to there is no real loyalty in sports. I agree with that, because it is a business. All right, so the team is not obligated to pay you. It is a performance-based thing, and a player is not obligated to stay to a particular franchise and go where the pasture is most green. And I understand that. When I was talking about players, loyalty,
but teams don't understand that, and fans don't understand that.
No, fans
want you to stay for as long as you can and play for as long as you can, for as low money as you can. Like, fans don't care about you.
No, I would not say fans expect somebody to play for a discount or as low as they can. I don't think that's. I think that's a bit of a generalization. I don't necessarily agree with that. But what I will say is that in terms of my fandom and some of my friends who are fans, is that we tend to be loyal to our franchise. Once a particular player leaves my franchise, somebody I might root for and I wish him all the best. But when his new team plays my team, I'm hoping that my team wins. If he has a good game against my team, that's fine. So I mean, I'm not going to root against him. But I mean, loyalty is a very contextual and nuanced thing when we're talking about sports fandom. I think that's just how some,
I don't have any.
But we know this, Jerome.
I don't have any. The most loyalty I have is to Manchester United, and that goes and come by the week. That go and come by the week. Ask Alric.
Move right along.
Well, anyway, let's jump into some games.
Move from Manchester United to Liverpool.
Look here. I hear that the captain from Liverpool football team, the female captain from Liverpool, is coming to play Jamaica. Coming to play for Jamaica, and she's a very nice look. And if it is that she is coming to play for Jamaica, I might switch to Liverpool, because I already have her on the red. She's already in the squad. Alric is telling me that she's already in the squad. So the next time the reggae girls play, the next time the reggae girls play, I'll be front and center in my Liverpool jersey. Alric, remember to get me that Liverpool jersey.
Alric, you hear that?
I'll be front and center in my Liverpool jersey. But anyway, let's jump into some games this week. We have a big one on Sunday. The Cincinnati Bengals will host the Philadelphia Eagles. Paul, I'll let you go with this one. Cincinnati seem to have found their mid-season form like they usually do every year. Start slow and find their form. They are a dangerous team. Philadelphia Eagles over the last 2 games look like they are also finding their stride, and it's a very dangerous team. Who has the edge in this game, and why?
I think you kind of preface the game excellently. It's an excellent matchup for 2 teams that they're pretty much finding themselves offensively. I will say Cincinnati on the defensive side is still vulnerable. The Eagles have been inconsistent in most regards. I'm looking at a situation where playing on the road, this is a very formidable challenge for them. And you're going to have to go in a game where Joe Burrow has his weapons, especially with Chase now, and him kind of meshing in mid-season form, where they're going to put points on the board. So I need Jalen Hurts to be Jalen Hurts, and I'm looking at a situation where our defense is the better defense in this matchup. I expect that the Eagles should step into this game and keep it close. And I find that if we can play mistake-free football and not necessarily just incline on Saquon Barkley, we can pull off a victory on the road.
Quickly, tell me, what's your thought on this one?
I like the Eagles in this one. I think the deciding factor for me is that the Bengals are still very much vulnerable to the running game. And from what I saw last week, I think the Eagles have made a decision that, we're going to feed Saquon, we're going to feed the beast. And I expect them to do more of the same on Sunday. And that will set up everything else, including keeping Joe Burrow and company off the field. I expect the Eagles to win in Cincinnati tomorrow.
Yeah, I have Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati playing at home. Joe Burrow finding himself. I didn't trust the Eagles at the beginning of the season. I didn't trust the Eagles at the beginning of the season. I don't trust Jalen Hurts.
Tomorrow, your own pick, Cincinnati Eagles. Good.
Paul is saying that he hopes Jalen Hurts play like Jalen Hurts. Be careful what you wish for, because Jalen Hurts is due for a stinker every now and then.
You're a Liverpool fan now.
The Baltimore Ravens will fly into Cleveland to take on. I think Jameis Winston will now start for the Cleveland Browns. Even if Deshaun Watson was starting for the Cleveland Browns, no way Cleveland beating Baltimore. This is a division game. We throw records out the window when it comes out to division games. But Baltimore is a superior team. Baltimore should handle business in this one. Remy?
Yeah, I agree. They should. I mean, it's as you rightly say, it's a division game. The Browns and Ravens have a dislike for each other. If you know the history, you know that the Ravens really are the Cleveland Browns. So going into Cleveland is always going to be an emotionally charged atmosphere. But I just think the talent disparity, I think the whole morale of the team right now, I expect the Ravens to win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer than we expect, but I expect Baltimore to win.
All right, we have 8 minutes to go through a few of these. Detroit should handle the Tennessee Titans at home. Tennessee Titans speed, falling fast. Detroit should be able to get another victory. Tua Tagovailoa is scheduled to make his first start in 4 games at Miami at the take on the Arizona Cardinals. I think I don't know what's wrong with the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know which week I'm gonna get the Arizona Cardinals. Like, they'll beat San Francisco one week and then the next week they'll lose to Tennessee. I don't know what to make of the Arizona Cardinals. But Tua should be back. I think Miami's better under Tua Tagovailoa. I think Miami wins at home. Paul?
Yeah, I can't go with you there, my brother. This man coming off a concussion. They run an offense that is about timing and it's about synergy. I don't think he's just going to come off the bench after 4 or 5 games and everything will be clicking on all cylinders. And as much as you think Arizona is inconsistent against Miami's defense, that is terrible against the pass. I do believe that they're going to make some plays and they're going to put up points. And I have Arizona as my upset special.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm proud of you, Paul. I don't agree with you, but proud of you. That's a good pick.
You have Arizona as well, Murray?
No, I have Miami. I think Tua is going to step in. He is proven that he's really important to that team, and I don't think Mike McDaniel and company would put him out there if he wasn't ready to play. I expect him to probably start off slowly, but he'll find his rhythm, kind of similar to what Russell Wilson did last week. And I expect Miami to win in Miami.
All right. The Jets should be able to handle the New England Patriots at home. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the Atlanta Falcons. Tampa Bay, you just can't get over the loss of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They can't muster up enough offense to beat the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta going Tampa Bay and beat them, Pat?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think those injuries to two key wide receivers is pretty devastating. I think Baker is still playing well, but Atlanta has all their weapons. They're coming in there trying to win a game and keep their playoff push going. So Atlanta is the pick for me.
Jacksonville coming home from England should be well rested, taking on a Green Bay Packers team that's playing with a lot of confidence. Green Bay going to into Jacksonville and come away with a W. Remy?
Yeah, I think once again, I think Green Bay really showed their mettle last week, going up against a really game Houston team. I think Houston, is definitely a class above Jacksonville. I know that Jacksonville at home is, playing for the season, but I just think this is a case of Jordan Love and that supporting cast on offense. A very opportunistic Packers defense. Trevor Lawrence, not playing like he's expected to. I think Green Bay, takes advantage of mistakes and do what they do and, get another W. Keep it rolling.
Indianapolis playing well, but they're not beating Houston at home. Houston should be able to handle that comfortably. New Orleans travel to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. I don't see any way the New Orleans Saints beat the Chargers at home. Actually, I think Dennis Allen is on the hot seat. He should find himself in some hot seat this week. But the game that I want to hear from you, Paul, Seattle hosts Buffalo. Buffalo, they have been up and down so far this season. Josh Allen has not looked as comfortable as he has in previous years. They are leaning more on the run game. This team can be a dangerous team, but they're playing Seattle at home. Anyway, Seattle can pull off the upset against this Buffalo team.
I mean, it's a good game. I think it's an excellent matchup. You're right. Josh Allen hasn't looked like himself, but he's gotten some help. Having Cooper out there, who's a crisp route runner, is going to make a big difference. And then on Seattle's side, not having DK Metcalf, it's a big loss. Their defense is playing better. They're playing at home. I do expect this to be the type of game where Buffalo can pretty much just move the ball as they please. But I think the cream rises to the crop here, and being the healthier and probably the more talented team in this scenario, I think Buffalo finds a way to pull off an ugly victory.
Agreed.
I have Seattle, but continue.
All right, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised there either. But I think Buffalo should be able to do enough. Denver should be able to handle Carolina Panthers this week at home. No way Carolina going to Denver and beat them. A sneaky good game. This game is, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes circled this game at the beginning of the year when he flies to Las Vegas. The Raiders famously.
For Vegas.
Yeah, but famously, the Raiders team was mocking Patrick Mahomes during the offseason with the Kermit the Frog stuffed animal and stuff like that. So I'm sure Patrick Mahomes has this game circled on his calendar. Remy,
he's got 100,
but I'm sure he doesn't have the tools that's gonna allow him to put up 100 points. What do we expect from Vegas? Beat Chiefs last year. I don't sleep on Vegas in this game, especially with Kansas City.
No, I'm not sleeping on Vegas. I am snoring on Vegas. Okay. I think that I'd be very surprised if the Raiders score more than a field goal or 2 field goals in this game. They have Aiden McConnell at quarterback. Tell me who the Raiders' weapons are against an excellent Chiefs defense. And in that win on Christmas Day, it was against Kansas City at Arrowhead. Aiden McConnell did not complete a pass after the second quarter. That's what you call an aberration.
Yeah, happened.
So it was a couple of defensive scores. The Chiefs played very badly that day. I think with making fun of Patrick Mahomes, the last season fresh in the Chiefs, man, I expect a dominant Kansas City performance in Vegas. This game won't be close.
Let's see. I had this game as my upset, but I'm not sure anymore. The Washington football team hosted Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams playing really, really well over the last couple of weeks coming off his bye. Remy, I'll allow you to take this one quickly. Can Washington do enough to hold off this Chicago Bears team at home?
Yeah, we're playing a game in D.C. As I said before, I'm very confident in Mariota. I think this is going to be a close game. As you say, the Bears have a lot of momentum coming in. They are the better defensive team, but I think we are the better offensive team, and I think the X factor in this game is Cliff Kingsbury. I think he will find a way for us to move the ball, changing up formations, up-tempo offense, things of that nature. And Washington pulls off a very narrow way.
All right, Paul, quickly, I'm sure at the beginning of the year this game would have been exciting, but I don't think it's going to be as good. San Francisco hosting Dallas Cowboys. Does San Francisco have enough weapons to hold off this Dallas Cowboys team at home?
They might not have all the pieces, but they still have Shanahan. They still have a run game that the Dallas Cowboys has no answer for. Dallas don't have all the pieces back yet, and they're pretty much reeling all season. I don't see them being able to stop themselves from drowning, and I expect them to choke and suffer another defeat in San Francisco.
Right. How do you really feel? And finally, finally, the Pittsburgh Steelers should be able to beat the New York Giants at home. New York Giants, poor Daniel Jones, he just can't manage.
This is a gimme. I mean, I have another group of friends who actually have this as an upset special. I can't see why. But I think the better coach team, the more talented team, I think the Steelers stamp the Giants on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, agreed. I say, Alec, come take him seat in that white shirt. Alec, your white shirt in this light is blinding me.
Better line up your Liverpool shirt.
Look like you have used a lot of blue on your shirt. Your shirt, Alec, the white is just killing me. But anyway, gentlemen, thank you for coming on. It's another exciting week of NFL action starting tomorrow morning. I think the Munich game. Is tomorrow the Munich game?
There's no European games tomorrow.
No European games.
No.
Okay, so the first game we have is Philadelphia, Cincinnati.
But
some exciting games are ahead, gentlemen. So we look forward to them. And
we have a lot of we are doing much wrong reel for next week.
Don't count on it, Alex. Just make sure somebody get my Liverpool.
Just that will never happen. He shall walk alone. That will never happen.
Just make sure me get my Liverpool jersey.
He shall never be a Liverpool fan. That will never happen.
Get my Liverpool jersey. But anyway, gentlemen, thanks again for joining. We'll be back
next week.
We'll be back with more on Sports Nation Live.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Escape to the tranquility of Spur Tree HomeAway Villas, a placid getaway featuring 3 unique accommodations. The spacious main house offers 6 aesthetically pleasing designed bedrooms, 3.5 baths, smart lock access, and modern amenities like smart TVs. Enjoy the cozy 2-bedroom suite with private baths, or retreat to the intimate 1-bedroom suite. Relax by the pool or explore Spur Tree HomeAway Villas. Book with us today. Contact 347-307-3732 or 646-824-5232.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex. We'll be working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. And we will talking some shooting now as a delegation of 35 members from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, are in Orlando, Florida to participate in the 2024 SWAT Roundup International Competition and Training. The delegation consists of 2 teams, one from the JCF SWAT and the other from the JCF Department of Weapons and the Tactical Training, DWTT. Head of Specialized Operation ACP Howard Chambers says over the next 5 days, the teams will compete in 4 team events as they aim to deliver a strong performance.
The men are here, they are ready, they are physically fit, and I've been practicing for the last couple of months for this event, and I believe they are quite able and ready to compete. As you know, we are coming off a local SWAT competition that was about 2 to 3 weeks ago. We saw a lot of interest in this competition. In fact, it was well supported right across the landscape of Jamaica. We had a total of 31 teams entering that competition, and we are seeing where it is getting better and better every year. So it is from that momentum coming off of that local competition that the men are well prepared for this competition this year.
In addition to the competitions, the event offers valuable opportunities for networking within the global law enforcement community. ACP Chambers says it also serves as a platform for participants to explore the latest advancement in technology, tools and weapons, making it a multifaceted experience that benefits the JCF at several levels.
We look beyond the competition for this event because it's an opportunity for partnership also. It's an opportunity to hear the experiences of other operators right across the world, so to speak. And it's an opportunity for us to learn a new way of doing things.
Head of Specialized Operations, ACP Howard Chambers. Now we're joined by ACP Melvin White, Commanding Officer for DWTT, and ASP Romaria Reed, Training Officer at Specialized Operations. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
It's our pleasure. Romaria, I take it you're with the SWAT team?
Yes, I am, sir.
Oh, sir. Okay. Again, thanks much for joining the show. Tell me, Romario, let me start with you since you're SWAT. We're used to watching SWAT on the television taking out the terrorists or the bank robbers who hold persons hostage, but we are not used to SWAT being in a competition like this. Tell us a bit more about this competition. Romario?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was saying, tell us a bit more about this competition that the JCF is participating in.
Yes, sir. So we are always busy doing work, as you already know. So we just took some time out to actually get some experience, actually showcase our talent to the world, as well as to hear the experience of other operators right across the world, as well as to learn new ways of doing things, and also to expose ourselves to the new weapons and equipment,
right,
so we can come back to Jamaica and actually enhance our way of doing things, patrol, etc.
Right. And Melvin, this is a competition, apart from what Romara just said, the ability to learn about new equipments and strategies. This is a competition, and you want to win this competition like everybody else. But when you look at the opponents, how strong are the teams that you'll be going up against?
Alright, so good evening again. So the teams that we'll be going up against, they are teams that are well dedicated, just as us here, Team Jamaica. So they are teams from the US and other teams from across the world. And just as how they have put in the time, same here for Team Jamaica, we have put in the training, and I believe that we can deliver a splendid performance.
Right. Romario, the local competition that completed it, I think it was last month. Team Gringo, I think it was that they were called, won that competition. Is this two teams that's participating in this competition? Is it a combination of teams that were in that competition, or what's the makeup of the team like? Because I was assuming that the team that would have won the local competition would have been the one participating here, but it seems like you took persons from the competition, all teams from the competition, and put together these two teams. Was that the case?
Yes, sir. So the team that is here representing Jamaica is a mixture of the Gringos as well as the SWAT commandos at Specialized Operations. So we have the SWAT members and members of the Department of Weapons and Tactical Training. So it's a mixture of the best shooters and persons that are most fittest persons we put on one team to represent.
Right, and Melvin, we're used to SWAT, and we can understand what SWAT is all about. But a lot of Jamaicans may not be used to the DWTT. Tell us a bit more about this DWTT and what you are all about.
All right, so the DWTT, it stands for the Department of Weapons and Tactical Training. It is the arm of the JCF that is so tasked to develop members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So we train from recruit all the way to tacticians in the JCF, not just in the utilization of weapons, but also with less lethal devices, human rights, and use of force. Additionally, we offer training to other government bodies right across Jamaica.
Right. So after all of that, tell me which are the teams battle, SWAT or DWTT?
Well, I guess I guess the results will speak for itself, but notwithstanding, although we are drawn from different parts of JCF, we are representing one Jamaica, and that is the focus to deliver well and to make Jamaica proud.
That sounds like the team that's not going to win. That's a diplomatic answer. So like the team that's not going to win. So Romario, we can't say SWAT is the better team then, right? but tell me, Romario, the competition, the local competition that ended a couple of weeks ago. How much did that prepare you and the other Jamaicans that are over in the US for this international competition?
Well, so it really prepared us competitively. So it garnered for us a competitive spirit. So you understand the obstacles. You get a feel of what is to come. We were better to prepare for the international stage, because the local staging of the SWAT competition is mimicked off of the international SWAT competition.
Right. And Melvin, this is not the first time that Jamaica will be participating in such a competition. Tell me, what's the highest Jamaica has ever finished, a team from Jamaica has ever finished, and what's the goal going into this competition?
All right, so Jamaica has been entering this event for approximately 10 years or more now. I cannot speak definitely on the placing, but I know that we have done well over the years, as well as we have earned the respect of not just Jamaicans, but also other team members here. The mindset that we have, as stated earlier, coming out of the local SWAT competition, we have gathered a whole lot of experience, a whole lot of training. We have tweaked what needs tweaking, and I believe that the performance that will be displayed over the next 5 years will be a splendid performance.
Okay, I can see that ACP Melvin is the diplomat of this group. But tell me, ASP Mario, this is a 5-day competition. How many days have gone so far? Romario?
Just 1 day, sir. Just 1 day.
Just 1 day. Okay, and what has competition been like? What have you done so far?
So far, we've just been training. Getting our practicing. We've done a talk through of the obstacle course, and just get ourselves accustomed to the new environment.
Right, and Romario, tell me the format of this competition. Is it that you're drawn in a pool? Is it a league-like format? How does it work? How do you move from, say, the preliminary round to quarterfinals, semifinals? What's the format of the competition?
Okay, sir. So it's a mixture of physical and mental fortitude, and it is done by timings. So you have penalties. So the obstacle course, it is colored. You have red, you have yellow. You touch the red, there's a penalty. Time is added on to your overall time. So it's a time competition. How well you maneuver this competition is how well you manage your time. So the less penalties you have, the better it is for you.
Right, what I'm getting at is it that you have a preliminary round, and after that round, then you move on to a quarterfinals and then the semifinals and the finals. How you know who get the gold, silver, bronze?
The course is right through, so competition right through. There's no preliminary or anything. From start to finish, it's just ongoing, non-stop.
So it's more like a league format where you accumulate points.
That is it, sir. That's correct.
Right. And SP Melvin, what are you saying to your team? Are you the captain of the DWTT team?
I am. Alright. So for this event, I am the manager, but my day-to-day duties, I am the commanding officer. But here on the international level, I am the manager for the DWTT team.
Okay, so you are not competing.
No, I am not competing.
Okay.
But I am there to give guidance as well as to formalize strategies for each stages.
Right. So tell me, as you speak to your teammates, what are you saying to them to keep them motivated, to keep them focused, to say, okay, we're going up against big USA and other countries from around the world, but Jamaicans are known to shine wherever they go. You can point to Usain Bolt, Shelly Fraser-Pryce, Bob Marley, Marcus Garvey. We shine in any field. What are you saying to your teammates to keep them motivated and focused to go for the top prize?
Well, what we are doing as a team, we are trying our best to remain calm. That is one of the reasons why we did the talk through today. To get ourselves acclimatized with the stage area. Additionally, we are just sticking to the plan, to the strategies that were created whilst at Jamaica. So for the different persons who will be running each stage, we keep on remind them of just the low-hanging fruits. So from start to finish, what will be done at this time, what will be done at that time, and then it is just for everyone to just stick to the plan, execute, and just execute well.
Right. And SP Mario, when you did this walkthrough, and you would have get a mental image of what you and your team need to do to come out as champions of this tournament. What are the stages you think will give you and your team the strongest challenge?
That would be the obstacle course.
Describe that for us. Describe what the obstacle course is all about.
Okay, so the obstacle course is it's a lot of different obstacles. They have a pull-up bar, sometimes like under-over. So you go under the bar, over the bar, under the bar, and you will hit some plates, but it's non-stop. You have to go over a wall. You have to run with a dummy that's about 100 pounds from point A to point B. You have to crawl. You have to go through like a door. Yeah, you have to go through like a very heavy door. So you have to hit it, run through a lot of different things. So the obstacle is a mixture of different obstacles that you're doing right through non-stop.
Right.
And you have to complete it as a team. So it's not an individual thing. It's a team effort.
And this is a 4-member team, right? How much persons are on? Eight.
Sir.
Okay,
8.
Because I was watching a video. I saw, I think it was 4 or 5 members. You were all trying to scale a wall. And when I watched that video, it looked like myself and my technical operator Kevin could have scaled it faster than you all. But we don't want to raid on your parade. That's why we didn't enter the competition this time around. Tell me, Mario, how confident are you that you and the SWAT team will do a good job and come out with some form of silverware?
Sir, if I'm being honest with you, I am always 100% confident in my team. I know their potential. I know how hard they've worked. I know the time, money, everything that has been spent in order to get them ready for the competition. Our senior managers, junior managers, their friends, their colleagues, family they believe in them, and they just need to apply themselves, and I believe that we can do very well in this competition. I mean, it is a new environment for them, of course, but with the skills that they have, the physical purse, I believe that they can do well.
Right, and tell me, like we when we spoke with ASP Howard Chambers, he was talking about the ability to network within global law enforcement community, as well as explore the latest advancement in technology, tools, and weapons. Have you been able to do none of that so far?
Well, sir, yes, we have. Since today, we even okay, so today we were practicing with some submachine guns, some SMGs, and myself and Mr. White and some of the senior managers, we tested them out ourselves, and we really see that, you know, Jamaica could use and upgrade in the weapons that we use in order to have a better.
Okay, and tell me, ASP Melvin, these competition locally and internationally, how has it prepared or helped you in your day-to-day operations as a police officer?
All right, so this operation, it helps us to learn best practices. So it is not just it is not just to compete or not just to win a competition, but it's also used for training experiences, partnership, whereas we learn from other members things that are working in other jurisdictions, and so that whenever we deliver to the citizens of Jamaica, we deliver things at a high standard. And the JCF, we are committed to deliver best practices to our citizens in Jamaica, and as such, this competition is not just one for just the sake of competing, but also to learn. We get to go to classes, we get to interact with other experts, security experts, other veterans, and then we tend to learn these best practices, tweak it to Jamaican environment, and then whenever we return home, we execute to the best of our ability while serving the people of Jamaica.
Right. In terms of serving the people of Jamaica, this is a side note. Has nothing to do with the competition. I must commend the JCF on its the new program. Well, it's not new. It's been out for some time now. 2 new programs that they have: the Wanted Wednesday, and that system where they use the social media as well to kind of a play on words as it relates to the various holidays and celebrations such as Valentine's and so forth. I am especially pleased with the Wanted Wednesday. I find myself going to social media every Wednesday to see who is the latest up on Wanted Wednesday. I must commend the JCF on those 2 brilliant ideas. I almost take them as my own, but I shall not do that. And anybody that came up with those ideas, they should not have to do any more work for the rest of their JCF career. But that's just a side note. I had to put that in. But
and if I can add, I as I stated, it is something that has impacting the JCF positively, and I would like to take this time to implore the members of Jamaica, whereas they should tune in to the Wanted Wednesdays and on the prescribed dates, and then if you see any one of these members, please feel free to report them to us, the police officers, so that we can be able to get them off the streets, bring them to justice, bring them to court, bring them to justice, and so that we can make Jamaica a safer place for one and for all.
Most definitely. And like I said, myself and several persons tune into the Wanted Wednesday, and I mean you must know popularities when you look at the various comments on on social media. But let's go back to the tournament. Mario, as you you're in the US now for the international tournament, but tell me, what has preparation been like for the team, and is there anything that you think you would have wanted to do that you did not get to do as you prepare for this tournament?
Yes, sir. So for the competition, we've had a lot of range practices, a lot of sniper shoots, a lot of physical activities, doing our own obstacles that we've created here in Jamaica for ourselves in preparation for the competition. Is there anything that I think we didn't do? No, but we maybe more shooting, probably more shooting, but dry practice helps a lot with shooting, even without firing around. It actually helps. So I think we've done our best in order to prepare for this competition. So.
When you say dry practice, explain that. Is that with video games or something like that? What's dry practice?
That's a negative. So you use the actual weapon, but it is not loaded. So there is no ammunition in the weapon. You just pull the trigger. You just practice how to pull the trigger. So you squeeze gently, and you practice that over and over again. So when it's actually loaded, you have a better shoot. So you're perfect your shoot.
How much of an advantage that gives you? Because I am thinking when you shoot a weapon that's not loaded, you don't get the same effect, especially the fact that you don't get that recoil.
So this assists with sight alignment. So what it does is that you do it so many times that when you actually load the weapon and you fire, you get a better result.
Okay. And ASP Belvin, your team, you're fit and ready to take on some of the best in the world. When other sporting disciplines go up against opponents, they would have studied them through tapes and other means. Did you get an opportunity to study your opponents, tapes of your opponents, and tell me, look back at over the years, which other countries have been dominant? What has been your research on your opponents, and what will you have seen?
All right. So for the competition, so I must say that this event is one that should be streamed live. So from time to time, we would watch the videos that are on YouTube. We see wherever we went wrong with a stage, as Mr. Reed made mentioned. The stages, some of them, you can get penalties if the stage is not
properly executed.
If it's not executed properly. Thank you, Mr. Reed. So for these, whenever we are in the planning stage, it is not just about doing the shoots and doing the physicalities, but also the mental preparation aspect of it. So from time to time, we will all sit as a team. We will watch videos and we will see where we went wrong. We will see some of the positives for the other competitors, and then we will see how best we can create a training program for us to be able to execute as good or even better as these competitors.
Right, but ASP Melvin, what I was getting at is, after you watch those tapes, and you would have seen the flaws of your opponents and the strengths of your opponent. Which country, which team you think you should target to say, okay, if I can better USA or England or Canada, then I should be one of the teams on the podium?
Well, for me, it is not just a one team, but it is for all of the teams, because this competition is one whereas it can surprise you, right? So it is one whereas you are expecting one team to execute somewhat not as good. However, on the day you realize that they executed well. So this competition has taught us not to take anything for granted. But whenever we are preparing, to do better than all the teams. So there's not just any one team, but I can say every team that is enrolled in this competition.
On ASP Belvin, is this a competition only for law enforcement officers around the world, or a private a private citizens could form a team and enter this competition?
This is for alright. So because it is not just for the competition and training, but also some form of knowledge exchange. It is for law enforcement officers right across the world, sir.
Okay. And ASP Romario,
Yes, sir.
And anybody goes into a competition goes into to win. But apart from winning, what are some of the other goals that yourself and the team would have set?
Well, our goals, sir, are, as we said before, is just to gain new experiences, to network. The more persons, it's better for us here in Jamaica. With the more persons, and it's just to make Jamaica and the Jamaica Constabulary Force proud. That's basically it, sir.
And ASP Melvin, as you prepared to go into this competition, you would have had in the back of your mind some expectations. From what you have seen so far, have this competition met your expectations, or there are areas that you think can be improved, or things that you did not expect that you would have seen?
Well, this competition, it has met our expectations, but I must say, for some of the stages, especially this specific one, it is called a blind event, whereas you will be given a scenario, and at the end of the scenario, you're expected to execute immediately. So as such, it is not something that we can predict, and it goes back home to what we do on a day-to-day basis. So what we do in training, we try our best to perfect all our craft, so that whatsoever is thrown at us in the competition, we can be able to adjust, we can be able to understand it, adjust, and then execute to gain a maximum point for it.
SP Melvin, give me an idea for a scenario that they could throw at you in this competition, in this blind the discipline, or the blind discipline.
All right. So scenario, one that has been for past time is to say that a hostage rescue. So like the briefing said that you have an hostage in a particular space. You have at least 4 threat forces. You must get the hostage, ensure that the hostage is not hurt, and you must carry the hostage to a safe location. With this limited briefing, we are expected to devise a plan in a split second, and whilst executing, we have the end game in mind, which is to get the hostage from the danger zone to a safe zone safely. So whilst executing, in the event a threat should so arise, we will deal with it, and we will neutralize that threat, push on, get the hostage, ensure that the hostage is safe, and then transport the hostage safely to the required location. So that is something that has been in the past, but as I said, the blind event, it is one that it changes every year.
Right, but your explanation took too long. Kevin and myself could have wrap up that long time, and we would have won the competition. but I'm going to ask the both of you this as I close. ASP Romario, let me start with you. DWT is SWAT going up against the world. Which team coming home with the gold? Let me start with you, Romario.
Well, sir, may the best team win, but it's one family, it's one JSF, so we both can come on with it. Who knows?
No, there's no tie. Somebody has to it. And ASP Melvin, which are you coming home with the gold?
Well, we are going to make history, because both teams will be coming back with the gold.
It sounds like you think there's a junior and senior division, but well, gentlemen, congratulations, and I wish you all the best. Like you've been saying, you want to make Jamaica proud, and I know that you will do so, despite where you may place. Jamaicans are known to be the stars of the show. We in whatever we participate in. So I'm sure that the JCF will continue that trend. So again, gentlemen, I wish you I wish you all the best, and your team. Tell me something before we go. This team, is it comprised of male and female, or is it all male or male team? What's the composition?
It is a mixture of male and female, sir.
Okay.
So we have 2 females this year that will be showcasing what the females of the JCF can do.
As it is our 75th anniversary in celebrating women in the JCF. So we have Corporal S. Housen and Constable K. Williams, both commandos at the Specialized Operations, very skilled female officers in the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
That means they are the ones carrying on the gold.
Sir, before you end, I really just want to thank the Commissioner of Police and the executive and senior managers of the JCF for believing in us and giving us the charge to train and manage our most highly skilled police officers in the JCF in order for us to gain knowledge, experience, and training that will assist the JCF to continue being a force for good. We are very grateful for the love and support that has been bestowed upon us, sir.
Okay, and the commissioner and everyone would have heard that, and they would have been happy to do what they did to ensure that the team is well prepared to go over and take on the best in the world. And like I said, you will both be bringing home the gold thanks to the female officers of the team, right? Well, again, gentlemen, thanks much, and all the best as you prepare for your 5 days of competition. So
Yes,
again, congratulations and all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Blessings. That was ASP Melvin White, commanding officer for DWTT, and ASP Romario Reed, training officer at Specialized Operations. They are taking part in the 2024 SWAT Roundup International Competition and the training in Orlando, Florida. And it starts, well, they say that they had the walkthrough today, and it's a 5-day competition. Again, we wish them all the best. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
This Christmas, let's bring back the spirit of giving, changing lives where it matters most. 'Tis the season to give back to those in need. With over 1,000 vibrant colors, magically help to transform somebody's space or your special place. With EdgeChem Color Glow Plus amazing colors, available in flat, no sheen or gloss. Visit any of our 24 EdgeChem retail stores and other distributors island-wide, or download our EdgeChem Color app. Select your favorite color, and let's bring back the spirit of Christmas. EdgeChem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time.
We're your partner in color, over 30 years strong, serving Jamaica beautifully, changing lives and leading the revolution with quality products innovated for when you need a superior finish. Edge campaigns are trusted, loved, and used by experts in the business of automotive, industrial, decorative, and furniture. We have the blueprint to help you create, vibe, and live life beautifully. EdgeChem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alex Weber, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. This is our final segment of the show. This is where we close out the day as it relates to Sports Nation Live. But let me jump over to YouTube to say a very good evening to those who would have joined us. Monica Stone, good evening to you. Errol Townsend. Go down even further. There is Howard Irving, David Nembar. Good evening to you all. Ricardo Porteous. A very good evening to you. Janique Williams. So good evening to you too. So those are some of the persons over on our YouTube platform. Just want to say a special good evening to all of you. Let me quickly jump over and give you some update as it relates to the ISA schoolboy football competition. That's the Manning and the Costa Cup football competitions. Now Excelsior, they would have beat Eltham 3-2 in the Manning Cup competition, Jamaica College and the Calabar, they drew 3-3 at Stadium East. At St. George's College, Campion, they would have beat St. George's 3-0. Tivoli Gardens, they blanked Jonathan Grant 5-0, and that game took place at Jamaica College Field. St. Catherine High, they beat Charlie Smith 1-0, and that took place at Eltham. And at Kingston College, they are leading Hydel 6-1, and that's at the Stadium East. We go over to the Costa Cup football competition, and we see where Kempsale, they would have blanked Alfonso Davis 5-0. Garvey Massier and Stets, they drew 1-1. Frome Tech and Clarendon College, they drew 1-1. Monroe College, they beat Cornwall College 4-1. Glenmore, they blanked Dintil 4-0. Central, they beat Manchester 3-1. Ocho Rios, they blanked Happy Grove 5-0. And McGrath, they outscored Denby 3-2. So those are the scores in the Issa, Manning and the Costa Cup football competitions. We have Nemesis on the line. Nemesis, good evening.
Mr. Swaby.
Blessings.
Welcome back, man.
Happy to be back.
You were away for how many weeks? 2?
Right.
Yeah, man, are you happy belated birthday, sir.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, that congratulations to the West Indies on scoring a victory. We know West Indies all perform and the pressure is not
when the pressure is off.
Yes, because I mean the series was already won.
Mm-hmm.
And you would never see them win, take quantum pressure time like 1-1. You really see them win that big tiebreaker.
Okay.
So we're not absorbing pressure. So I say we see Evan Lewis, Mr. Unreliable, score a century today.
Why you call him unreliable?
Mr. Unreliable, you can't never tell when that man will make himself available to play for West Indies.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about his ability to score.
No, but his ability is unquestionable, but it's just his availability to play.
Okay.
To play, sometimes you never can tell when he's going to be available.
Right.
Because from 2021, I first him.
Yes, he has been out for 3 years, I think it is.
For 3 years. Yeah, man. But, still congratulate him.
Most definitely.
But, that charade that fiasco that took place at Cayman
Spark. Why?
What are disgracing?
Yes, it has been the talk of the racing world, not only here in Jamaica, but in North America as well, because we would have broadcast simultaneously in North America. So I mean, when you go on social media, you would have seen a couple of the commentators, international commentators, talking about it.
It's your one misjudgment and ill-advised move can cost millions of dollars, lots of millions of dollars.
Yes, but this questionable decision by stewards at Cayman Park has been going on for some time. The jockeys and trainers has been complaining about it for some time now.
Took a big hit Monday because of that.
Right, and unfortunately, it took that for the operators to decide to look seriously into the matter.
To wake up.
We hope something positive will come from it. I would have.
Any insight on what type of officiators they got today to do the officials they get to cut to
more likely they would have. Remember that they have about 9 stewards that they use. So those that would have been involved on Monday, they would have taken those off frontline, so they wouldn't have worked today. So the others would have been called into commission.
With better credentials, with better experience.
I can't speak about the credential, but it's the set that have been working at Cayman Park over the years. So those, I think 3 that were involved on Monday, they
might have to revisit some of those laws that govern the running of the decision making. Because it cannot be.
I guess all of that will come into question when SVL makes have their meeting and discussion on the whole issue?
Because, Mr. Shreve, it cannot be that when ours is disqualified and another horse is put in that position, and then a few weeks after that or a few days after that, the position has been reversed.
Mm-hmm.
The punter's advice is the one that could come out on the losing end.
Yes.
You know, maybe they should come out a decision that's when the horses, especially the winners, has been disqualified, they refund the ticket, and I don't know, but something has to be done.
Most definitely.
So when does the Super 50 over start? Next week?
October 29.
Oh, and I understand that John Campbell has been made the captain of Jamaica team.
Right.
That's good. I hope him all the best. I hope he will look at how Marlon Summons came back after his suspension, and he used it as a
motivation,
something to inspire him.
Right.
You know, because when Marlon did his stint and came back, he scored tons of runs.
True.
So he should use that as a stepping stone to motivate him also. Because in the trial, he made a century in the trial that he did.
Right.
That's why he was hastily brought back.
True.
And people are complaining that how you not bring in this guy Pete Sammons. But Pete Sammons, I don't think Pete Sammons made himself available for trials.
Okay.
You heard the furor about it?
I heard some rumblings, but I can't speak on it definitely. So I wouldn't go into it because I can't speak to it definitively.
I know you're not a rumor monger. You're not one for spreading false rumor, not you?
Exactly.
Mr. Sylvie, enjoy the program, you know.
Okay, then thanks much for listening.
Over weekends, we can call it the sports program because during the week I'm sort of busy.
Okay.
Man, take care, my brother.
All right, blessings. Okay, so let me give you quickly the fixtures for the Jamaica Premier League. That's the Rare Never Jamaica Premier League. At Druxall, there'll be a doubleheader. At 1 p.m., Mullines United, they'll take on Humble Lion. After which, at 3:15, Mount Pleasant Academy, they'll take on Tivoli Gardens. At Catherine Hall Sports Complex, at 5:30 p.m., Montego Bay United, they'll face Portmore United. And at Dunby Holding Sports Complex, at 3 p.m., Dunby Holding, they'll welcome Harbour View. Now, in the Monday night fixtures, Chapelton Maroons, they'll take on Waterhouse at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex, and that's that game kicks off at 5 p.m. At 7:30 p.m. At the same venue, Racing United, they'll go up against Via United. So those are the matches for the Rare Navy Jamaica Premier League. Let me quickly give you the result of today's matches in the English Premier League. Aston Villa, they would have drawn with Bournemouth 1-1. Brentford, they would have outscored Ipswich Town 4-3. Brighton and Wolves drew 2-2. Manchester City, they beat Southampton 1-0. Everton, they would have drawn with Fulham 1-1. Now for tomorrow's run of matches, as expected, the big matchup will be Arsenal against Liverpool. That kicks off at 1:30. Then you have West Ham United against Manchester United at 11. Crystal Palace, they take on Tottenham Hotspur at 11. And at Chelsea, they welcome Newcastle United at 11 a.m. So those are the games for tomorrow in the English Premier League. Now that's all the time we have for you. I'd like to say a special thanks to everyone that make the show possible. Vishwanath Tolan, Joseph Red Pereira, Stephen Gunter. Well, Steve Gunter wasn't able to make it. Kyle Chin, ASP Melvin White, ASP Romaria Reed, Jerome Jarrett, Remy Evans, and Paul Vaughan. I'm Alric Swiby. On behalf of my technical operator Kevin Williams, saying God bless, good night, and as usual, we hope that you will be in church on Sunday. And if you don't have a church to worship, you're welcome to worship with us at Tower Hill Missionary Church, 159 Olympic Way. God bless. Good night. Remember to look out for the Wanted Wednesday so you can assist the security forces in getting Jamaica to be a safe place to live, work, and raise your family. God bless. Good night.